and welcome everyone. It's Roller Wiener Monday and the day before Taco Tuesday, we always like to say here. It's 12:30 p.m. Adjusted time for the Ronas. So what's happening out there? This week, it's going to be interesting. There's a driver arrested for not wearing a mask, so consider that. Travel to some states is limited even for essential workers, all right, including drivers. So I have that information on what you need to do. It's a lawless zone in Minneapolis. Did you see that? They're attacking trucks, and the police are just putting out the message that, hey, some trucks are being attacked here, so be careful. I love it. And Transport Topics has a hard-hitting investigative news story that I'm sure they put tons of hours of investigation into. Probably contacted Geraldo, opened a safe up, and got the information out there. Thank you to them for this information. It's going to be just stunning. Stocks are also up as usual today. So we'll see what's going on out there. Let's see. Well, Bill was first. Oh, yes. That never happens, by the way. Thank you for that. Christina Jones was also just after him. So close. So close today. Cash is King Trucking I have first on the page here today, although that's just what I'm seeing here. So thank you for being here. Trucker Hershey, what's happening? Always punny to see you. Stan Dodge, what's going on? You're in Brookhaven. It's hot and humid. Wow, yeah. The state flag going to change down there in Mississippi, but you'll have to change their, their T-shirts or whatever they're wearing. Ansel and Penelope, Rain Blossom Smith. What's happening today? BD5AV8R1, which is an interesting name for a channel. Hey, I saw the Celadon truck, super great out there today. A complete truck. That's what you want. They're still waiting to get their layover pay, probably. Waltwin, what's happening? Stan Dodge. Let's see. Hello there. So what's going on out here? George Wilson. It's going good out here. What's happening with you there? So I go down here. Big, healthy highwayman. Hello there. It's good to see you today. It's super humid out. I hope everybody's air is working too. Yeah, I see, Wild Bill. You've never been first. It's good that you made it this one time. Thank you for that. Hey, Tim, hello there. Trucking with Otis, what's going on? Bobby Clark, hello. Misty, good to see you today. Red Monkey Trucking is here today. What's happening? How's it going over there? Are you guys still rolling? Imperials, New York City. I'm very happy to be here. Good, it's good to see you. The Heady Trucker, I was right about Western Express. Oh, not just me saying it, believe me. I'm not some kind of prophet on that. The place is horrible. It is what it is. It passed their test. Yeah, it's not great over there, let's put it that way, to be kind about it. Trucking Journeys had a fender bender in Indianapolis on Saturday. Raining so hard. I know, it was super bad rain. I had to work Saturday, so couldn't stop. No big dent and a scratch in the license plate. 500 of damage to them, none to you. All right, so to fill out an accident report and all that, will that go down like that? Free music is at youtube.com / and their creator, content creator thing. There's a tons of free music you can get, and you can use them for whatever you want to use them for. So, Dave Johnson, I don't know how much suspense there is. It's good to see you. Michael Swift is here. Al John's good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Kenneth Schneider, okay, and I'm off already. I've lost my spot as usual. Present and accounted for. It's Taco Tuesday Eve. Yeah, always got to put that in there. Some would prefer Taco Tuesday to Roller Wiener Monday, so that's all right too. Josh, hello. Columbia George, greetings. Michael Watts, what's up? Trucking and OD podcast, hey, what's happening? Mark Ely, what's going on? James Faust, hello, good to see you today. D-Boy611, hello there. I hope it's going wonderful. Unknown Opinionoid. What's happening? Dan Turlecki, hey, from Michigan. Any updates on yellow stock? Yeah, yellow is $1.64. Not bad. I thought it was going to be like 40 cents or whatever today. So apparently the market doesn't see them not paying their health insurance as a big deal. Apparently, I guess I would if I was the one on the receiving end of the insurance benefit and it possibly ran out. So, but I guess the market doesn't think it's going to be a big a deal because the stock is basically what it was last week. Joseph McGavern, hello there. Sam, I am Oracle. Well, I don't know about that. The Oracle, yeah, that's for Mr. Buffett, Trucking Journeys. Been seeing a lot of Celadon trailers. So did some kind of auction happen down there or something? That's a possibility. They've been having these auctions around the country. Maybe a few hundred of them got auctioned off or something that they could find. Or people just finally started stealing them. MG Jackson, hello from I-74. Oh, not that far. What's going on over there? Not too much, I hope. Big Mon CBK, yes. Live long and prosper. Old Crony's Garage. It's me, 1984 Chevy C30. Wow. Yes, it's good to see you. Trucker Beetle Bailey, hello there today. I hope you're doing good out there. Good afternoon, Jeffrey Herring. What's happening? Mom says hi, by the way, and she said trucking what? Oh, well. Good. Hello, Mom. That's great. Red Wine, hello there. What's happening? I've actually heard Western Express recruits at prisons. Oh, you know what? They might. Some prisons are running driver training programs for when you get out. And I would say this, I guess, if you're in prison and are going to get out, you're going to need a job, right? You can't just, wander the streets or whatever. So, hey, look, if, as long as you're not in prison for like killing a dispatch or whatever, no problem. You gotta work somewhere. If you're gonna let people out, they gotta work. So, Jesse with JCT in Arizona. Hey, how's it going over there? What do you think? Good or no? People are always looking for a good recommendation from somebody that works somewhere. So, Rick N, hello there. Everyone apply to Western Express. Draw that on a signature. Well, yeah, if it lets you draw, that would be interesting. They probably wouldn't care. That's the thing. They don't care. Most of your friends have been in prison, so you're good. Yeah. Look, people go to prison and get out. Not everybody stays their whole life, so everybody's got to have a job if they get out of prison, So, truck driving, not a bad job for them or anybody. Don't forget in sending you my paycheck stubs tomorrow. All right, I'll be looking for those. I've had 2 weeks to $3,000 and 2 weeks at $1,200 to $1,800. That'd be incredible, $3,000. It's like 6 months of pay for me. Park Lake, yeah, that rain was bad. I know, it was horrible here, and it was just a disaster, by the way. Don't eat the honey bun left on your bed. Yikes. I used to drive for Celadon. It was a decent company when I was with them. Too bad they went belly up. Yeah, too bad. That's always the problem. They had all these shenanigans over years, never could get out of it, so that was the deal there. What's going on? I'm off for today. Tanker yanking Toronto. All right. Monday, I love having weekdays off. Wish I could always have a weekday off because you can go get things done during the week. When everybody's at work, you can go do things. So the value of yellow assets might exceed the current stock price, Rick N. That's true. With all their stuff that they have, yeah, that's absolutely true. This has been a low price stock right now. Hello from Miami, 102 down there. Wow. Yeah, but it's a dry heat, right? So what's up with YRC? I don't think anyone ever bought Big R would go out last. Last I knew, Yellow was the biggest. They're the largest one of those kind of companies, and if they eventually run out of money, they'll eventually either close or, what I'm thinking, and I'm not Warren Buffett, they may sell off like Holland or something. They'll sell chunks of their place off, kind of like Roadrunner's doing, to possibly raise some money that way. So that's possibly a way to do it. Philip Owens, are you okay? And no Sunday? Yeah, I had to work Saturday, so I didn't get back to really late, and so no Sunday rant this week. Find a house yet, Christina Jones? Oh, no. Still looking around down there. Got some time on that. Always looking for some big place down in the Jasper area. My brother said hi, and so did your cat. Oh, Crony's Garage. That's pretty awesome that you could get a cat even to wake up. There's been a Celadon trailer sitting in a dirt parking lot off the Pilot in South Boston, Virginia for 8 months. It always amazes me that the bankruptcy court in that doesn't put a bounty on finding these trailers. I'm surprised somebody hasn't taken it yet and either painted over it, started using it, or just do something with it, really. Hey, Word, what's going on, Grafton? Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hello there. Nice. Yeah, Misty, nice red locks. Yeah, you look ready to pillage a medieval village. Yeah, I know. I still haven't gotten over to get a haircut. I'm going to do that. They're only taking appointments, and every time I call, they're like, oh, well, the next appointment is, at 8 at night or 7 or whatever, and I'm busy. So I will eventually get there. We have a long weekend coming up, so hopefully I can get over there and get that done. Prisoners probably have a good driving record. Oh, right, no accidents. Hey, haven't had an accident in 25 years other than with a laundry cart and that thing in the shower. So, Edgar Gomez, hello. I was drunk the day your mom got out of prison, Columbia, George. Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a dry heat down there in Miami. That's what they say, anyways. So in Oregon, there's a driver. He went to court. This is how this mask thing works. All right, so I wanted to talk about that. So he goes to court for passing a stop school bus. Okay, that's what he had a ticket for. He went to court. And, of course, when you go into court, you sit there and wait for them to call your name, right? he didn't have a mask on. And so the judge, I guess, told him to put a mask on. He sees him in the courtroom and he goes, I have a breathing problem or whatever. That's like what everybody says. So I can't put a mask on. And the judge yelled at him, put a mask on apparently. And he goes, well, fine, I'll just leave. I'll just leave the courtroom. And he left, and they went out and arrested him on contempt of court, put him in jail for just 2 hours and let him back out and extended his court date. But and so I guess he made a point, oh, see, you can't make me wear a mask. That's great. The problem is now you've been arrested. So when on your application it says, have you ever been arrested? You have to put down, yes, I've been arrested. So you have an arrest record. Not great. So I don't think that's great. I don't know if they charged them a fine or anything. And, we can argue with whether they should allow masks, whether they have to make you wear a mask or whatever. The problem is when a judge tells you something, they have a lot of power to just throw you in jail. That's a real problem. So are you going to fight that later? Maybe he'll win it or whatever. The practical matter of it is, should you just put a mask on for a few minutes while they do your case? That's the thing. I guess the judge told him he has 30 days to come back in and present a note from a certified doctor in the state of Oregon that he, in fact, does have a breathing problem and cannot wear a mask, and the doctor certifies that to the court. And it's different than a doctor's writing it and certifying it to a court, because then the doctor's on the hook if it's not true. So I don't know what he'll do with that. Look, in that case, I would have probably put the mask on. It's kind of the thing on the side of the road where you're being arrested and then you're like, oh, I'm not going to go with you or whatever. And you just kind of got to go with it. What do you think about that? Arrest literally in jail 2 hours for no mask. I think, let's see, where'd I go here? Okay, I'm wanting to build, it's got your CDL looking for a good company. Yeah, that's what I'm trying here. Let's see what people think about that. I'm wanting to build a 2001 Ram 3500. Yeah. With one of the Cummins and a 6-speed manual and be Patriot Blue. You can find those around, I'm sure. They probably go for good money with the diesel in them. I'm thinking about even a third of the drivers are still out. It's amazing with what's going on with the United States that America is moving forward. You go by the truck stop, it's not as busy as it was. There's still parking places and stuff, yeah. Edgar completed 3 years with your current job. What'd they do for you? What did they do for you? They always send me an email on my anniversary, which has numerous misspellings and punctuation errors, and there's no spaces in between the words. And it's the same one every year. I point it out to them every year. I go, what kind of flim-flam operation sends this kind of thing out? So, but they don't care, of course. Man, depends on where you live. Hey, thanks for the show, Jade. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Every company is good except for CR England. Well, there's a lot of good companies out there. Who's playing at the Manhole this week? Well, I'll always do my Village cover band there at the Manhole, which is always interesting. I don't think they have the card set up. That's what we call it in the biz, the card, for the 4th of July. It'd be something patriotic, believe me. Something patriotic. We won't have the ABBA cover band, won't be there. U.S.-type bands only. Hello, Willie Cooper. The mask stuff is ridiculous. Governor directives, it is not law. The Hattie Trucker, I understand it is not the law. And they had talked about it, that in that count, although some counties in Oregon did mandate it for buildings, they didn't in that building. But the judge told them to put it on. So do you argue with the judge? That's the thing. Remember, this is the guy that's going to hear your case here in a few minutes also. So do you want to aggravate him with that, or do you want to put a mask on and get out of a ticket? Passing a stop school bus is a serious violation on your CDL. So you think practical. Oh, okay, I have a rights, but I need to get out of this ticket or whatever. So, it's something to think about. And you got to jail. Now you have an arrest record. Now what? Looking for over the road or something regional. Yeah, what are you looking for? He didn't make any kind of point. I know, he didn't even make a point. Other than he got arrested. Now what's the point? What did that do? Face shield's a little more comfy and still a pain, but less restrictive. I agree. They have one that clips on the front of your hat now, which I don't have one here. Oh, I should write to them and see if they'll send me one. It clips over the brim of your hat. So, and it works as a face shield. Interesting. We just found out that what he found out is the illusion of freedom. That's true. It's only that way if everybody does it, not just that one person. Willie's got a story for me. Let's hear. What's the story? They only gave me a few cents raise. Well, that's more than us. They passed on a raise this year. They're like, oh, well, coronavirus, so no raise. So, hello from San Antonio and your friendly tow truck driver, Corey. How's it going down there? Getting a lot of tire pops? I see that now that it's hot out here. Hunsley, hello there. The Guess Who cover band? Oh, that would be great. That would be a good one. Have to see if they can come. Yeah, it's, down at the Manhole. But I will... I need to tell me about it offline. Oh, okay. Offline. Got it. The man is going for... If you're going for reefer, go to Prime. Ugh. But, and if you're going flatbed, go to Maverick. See, I don't know about Maverick anymore since they're changing the guarantee. Prime, I don't like the training at Prime. You have to team train at Prime. Team training, I'm out. Can you do a review on Design Transport? Oh, where are they from? It's a heady trucker. I mean, if you tell the man that you have breathing problems and he forces you to wear a mask and that judge was in the wrong. Well, if someone says they can't, then they can't. That's abuse of power. The judges have a lot of power in their courtroom. That's the problem. And if all you had to do is say it, everybody would just say it and nobody would wear a mask. It's like people that drag a dog around now. Half the people walking around have a dog. Oh, it's my emotional support dog. That's every dog is an emotional support dog. That's why you get a dog. So I don't know if I buy it. If it's true, he'll be able to go to his doctor, right, and get this letter to present to the judge, because that is the thing. So that's what the judge wants. Otherwise, he'll have to file a case against the judge. And then he still has to have his original case of passing the stop school bus heard. And it's that judge. So good luck with that. Prime at 4 starts at 43 and Maverick at 50. Yeah, but I don't like the guarantee. We'll see. I would talk to some Maverick drivers. Since they lowered the guarantee, it has me concerned at Maverick that there's not a lot of miles. 50 cents a mile is only good if you get enough miles. If you're only getting 1,000 miles a week, it's still not great money. Paul Vines, hello. Safe trucking for everyone. Huntington Beach, pay Tim. California, 70 and beautiful. Wow, nice. The only reason to stay, and that's not even worth it, because California now, let's see here. What did they do? 5% of trucks have to be electric in California starting in 2024. 5% of trucks sold. And by 2032, 40% of sold trucks have to be, actually it doesn't say electric, it says zero emission, I believe. So 40%, but it's electric is the way to go at the moment. So electrically charged, they're charging them up for that in California. So that'll be nice for Tesla. Let's see. For flatbed, I'd go Maverick or Melton. Try to find a mid-size carrier like Arnold Raider Express. Oh my gosh. I'd try Hellwig out of Texas, or Schugel, or a Word or Yice. Raider Express. Welcome to a 60-mile-an-hour lane. Oh, it's slow down there for towing? Maybe everybody's used to it there. Here, as soon as it gets hot, everybody's tires explode because nobody checks their tires. You really need to get a year of experience in wherever you are and then decide on looking for a better job. If after the first year, look at the job running. Yeah, once you get some experience, though, you can go basically anywhere you want, right? Design Transport is out of Dallas. Oh, great. Victor, currently driving for Schuster. Love it. All right, Victor. Talked about Schuster some time ago, so they're still good over there, hauling all that cold product. Put a mask on your pets, please. Really, yeah. Oh, I'd like to see that on the cat. That would be pretty impressive. I work at Poly Trucking, and they have a factory in Grand Prairie and pay well in Houston. They require a year. It depends on what you're looking for. Yeah, once you get a year, you got it made. You could go to Yellow. I have my emotional support rooster when boarding planes. Yeah, that's funny. The wife has her flight coming up later and got a message that they will only allow emotional support dogs now. You can't. They were allowing like peacocks and stuff. Peacocks, okay? Who takes a peacock around with them? So they're only going to allow dogs. TJ Jones, what's happening? You got unloaded, Cash is King, finally. So only 7 more stops to go. You read that 75% had to be by 2035. All right, I have down 40% by 2032. Okay, so I didn't go beyond that. I figure I'll either be dead or not driving it by that point. Thanks, Trucking Journeys. Bring back the Super 10. Oh, and in days like this, when it's super humid, years ago when we didn't have air conditioning and it was humid, and that Super 10, your hand would slip off it. It gets so sweaty just holding on to it, waiting for the next shift because it was so slow, and it would just be covered with sweat. Oh, those were the days. Does the rooster have a mask? A little teeny tiny beak mask. Why is it too much to ask that the DOT and FMCSA take their knee off the neck of trucking? That's a good meme, but the drivers can do what they do best, and that is truck. Were accidents up? That's going to be the question. I wonder if anybody is going to come out with a study. Did accidents increase during those couple of months when people could just drive willy-nilly and, any way that they wanted? And I would probably say no, but they'll, of course, say, well, that's because there was less traffic, because everybody had to stay home. By the way, there's more cases now than then. Oh, record cases, they said. Is everybody locked up now? No. Okay, more proof that it's not real. Just put there, it's not, there's no point to the lockups, let's put it that way. Just put on the mask when they ask you to do something so you can't breathe and pass out. Oh, that'd be interesting. Everyone needs to start copying off of politicians. That would have been really good, right? Start coughing or whatever, yeah. I think you should carry a note from your doctor if this is going to be a deal with you. I think, look, the thing about this is it's in court. And the point that you're trying to make, the judge that is going to hear your case is the person that you're aggravating about this. Okay, you should have said, oh, I'm sorry, I put one on immediately. That would have been the end of it. Then he would have had his case heard, and it would have been done with. Now he gets arrested, has an arrest record, has to show up for that, and gets his other case postponed. Is that worth a mask? That's the question. And he still has to have the case heard for passing a stop school bus. I learned the Super 6 Flow LLC. Oh, that's nice. I learned a valuable lesson. Watch your 7-year clock so you don't lose a $2,000 load. Yeah. Especially if it's paying that kind of money. The clock rules your life, right? And for all of our lives. Victor, it was your review that brought me here. Oh, really? Well, thank you, and I'm glad it worked out. That makes me even more nervous, really. Anyone ever heard of New Way? Yeah, New Way, right? New Way carriers. It's getting hot in Chicago town area. Yeah, there were a bunch of kids killed this weekend, but you don't see that too much on the news. Shot in Chicago, where there's a lot of gun control and stuff. That doesn't seem to make the news, though. I'd like to have an emotional support alligator. Well, you'd get your own seat on a plane. Manage my clock and running recaps. Right, you're right. Like, you don't watch it the 30 minutes and you can't get the load. Dang it. And is that a solution to safety? Does that make it safer? Did you hear a driver fled the company, now the insurance company? Oh, right. Okay, so a driver fled the country, now the insurance company doesn't have to pay. Yes, Hunsley, I did hear about this. I didn't write it down, so see if I could synopsize this. Oh, how about that? So there was an accident. A driver had an accident. I don't remember the trucking companies or whatever. And the company and the driver got sued. They sued him, but the drivers fled the country. They think back to Russia. Okay. So, and I said that like I live there. That's actual Russian, I just said. And the insurance company says, oh, well, the driver's not here. We don't have to pay. And it turns out in their contract, the employee, who is the driver in this case, is required to assist in the defense. And since the driver is not assisting in the defense of this company, the insurance company is off the hook to pay. They say if he won't help us, we don't have to pay anybody. And the court agreed. And so the people are just out. I don't understand how that happens, because the driver is committed basically an illegal act. He can't leave because he's required in court. I don't see how that's on the insurance company, but hey, I'm not a lawyer, and you should seek the advice of a lawyer or contact your local FMCSA field office for more information about that. But yeah, I did see that. I have a pet rattlesnake. He gets mad when he's made to wear a mask. Oh, yeah, they don't like that because the tongue makes it all wet. 2 years experience, go to work for TAC Trucking. There's also that. There's a lot of these other littler, smaller companies out there. Everybody comments on, there's always the top 15 or whatever companies. There's thousands of companies that don't have 3,000 trucks out there. If you do just a slight bit of research about them, oh my gosh, there's tons of places that are way better than these other places. Geotab has done some big data analysis on driving, and they said they have seen an uptick in high-speed accidents. Not sure about the number, but the ones they've seen are faster than average. That's interesting. I'd like to know what they mean by high speed, because most companies that use Geotab, at least company trucks, probably have a speed limiter in their trucks. So I'd like to know what they mean by high speed. That has, just over the speed limit or faster than 70. You know what I mean? Willy Nilly would be a great name for a trucking company. Willy Nilly Trucking. Oh, that could be the company that we use to re-sublease trucks. Willy Nilly Sublease Trucking Incorporated. Then we'll get a PPP loan for it. The heady trucker, by law, I don't have to disclose any of my medical information, so I'd like to maintain the last bit of freedom I have left. Well, that's interesting. When, as you know, right, I've talked about this, I'm an Uber driver, and if somebody gets in the car, now I'll take dogs and stuff. Whenever I was driving people around, I haven't driven people a long time. I don't mind taking your dog, cat. It doesn't bother me. I usually pet them when I'm driving, so it doesn't matter to me. But if somebody doesn't want to take the dog and the person says it's a medical support dog, I can ask them 2 questions, right? What is the dog? What is the nature of your disability, and number 2, what does the dog do to assist you? That's all you can ask people. If they refuse to answer either question, I don't have to take the dog. So that's how the law works on at least a dog or a support animal with a disability. Now, most companies don't do that. I don't do it, right? As a big, as an animal lover, I don't care. You can bring a peacock with me for all I care, but that's what we could ask for a dog. Keep in mind when choosing a carrier is do you care about running nights? Are you okay with flip-flopping? That's worse. A lot of the larger companies do that. Look, over the road, in all places, it's tough to maintain a schedule. That's the hardest part of road driving, other than teaming, I think. You don't maintain your schedule. Days, nights, days, then afternoons, then nights, right? It's very hard to maintain your schedule. So that's the worst part of it. Schuster, other than some other things, Schuster's a great company. I hated leaving, but I left to lease purchase a truck and then come back as an owner-operator. All right, so you're back. You're still back in the saddle. My question about that is, how did he get in the courtroom or court area if it wasn't going to be a big deal? That's a good question on how he got to sit in there without a mask on, but that's where he was seated in the courtroom. That's what the article said. Seated in, and then the judge pointed out to him, hey, you in the back or whatever, put on a mask. And I guess he told him, look, I'm away from other people, and the judge is like, mask. And that's where it went. And remember, that's the guy going to hear your case. Lex Rex showed four-wheelers are a problem for wrecks and not drivers. That's certainly the truth. So when you talk to a recruiter, trucking drivers, make sure you make it a point of asking if they have a lot of freight that runs at night, if that's something you don't want to do. Yeah, look, if there's some kind of thing you want, whatever it is in trucking, whatever, always get it. Always ask about it, and then don't settle. Don't ever settle, because you won't be happy with what you have then. Oh, let's so when you talk to, where'd I go? I'm accepting a job with New Way as of August 1st. Oh, really? I've only heard the name of them. I mean, like, I've seen New Way trucks, so I'm in a cover band too. We lip sync to Milli Vanilli songs. Oh, that's pretty awesome. That'd be hard to do. You'd have to watch them doing it. Kenneth Schneider, from what I hear, GP Transportation is a great company to work for. If you have a clean record, GP is the third highest paying company out there, I guess, depending on who you talk to, right? And I should put this out here too, right? When Fleet Nav came on, which I didn't, right? They're going to be live tomorrow at 3, and then, of course, live Friday at 3. So get out there. Get on the show and get in the lightning round. And GP Transco is always looking for good people around the country. Give them a call. How about that? So there's that much. Chewy doesn't make a harness that fits a honey badger. You should write them. The Guess is the Guess Who is a Canadian band. Well, that stinks. But you could do a cover of them, I guess. Don't worry, my emotional support alligator doesn't bite. Oh, yeah, nice. Fleet Nav, yeah, I heard that on another show, and I wanted to kind of steal that. No, I'm not a lawyer. I do just play one on the show here. Texas is great for trucking once you have a year in, but not, I don't know about Raider Express. Once you get experience, I don't think Raider is going to be the best place for you. Oh, high speed was your terminology, just faster in urban areas. So the speed is a higher average speed than it has been, but that would make sense being as there's less traffic. But you're not saying like speeds of 80, like fast speeds. You highly doubt that GP is the third highest paying trucking company if you take into account every single company. They'd have to survey every company. So I don't know if they asked everybody. Let's put it this way. They're a good paying company. How about that? And I always think pay isn't everything. If you get treated better, it's worth taking less money. Well, Bill, who do I drive for? Well, that's a good question. So for people that are not regularly on the show, I don't say who I drive for. That keeps them out of my videos. And I also don't recruit for them. I just saw this other guy recruiting today too. It's funny. I don't remember his name, but I don't recruit for my company on the internet. So if you want to work there, we run ads, and you can go hire on. But otherwise, right, I don't do that. So that keeps everything cool out here. Almost On Time Trucking Company. That'd be another good one. Oh, thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. GP pays you somewhere around 57 mile. I get paid 56. There are a lot of companies that pay equal to or more. It's mileage per mile is not the whole story of pay at any company, right? You can get 30 cents a mile and still make a lot of money if you get depending on how your job works and what you're doing. I used to get a really low rate when I would do a milk run in Chicago, but I had tons of stops. I was getting $15 a stop. Oh gosh, this might have been 2,000 or something like that. And I would have 10 or 15 stops a day plus, I don't know, 20 some cents a mile, but I was getting 225 a day in stops on some days. So because I'd get one pallet here, I'd get one box there, I'd go get one pallet here. So that's how, it doesn't matter. The mileage rate doesn't necessarily matter. It matters how much you make a week. I start my new booze delivery job tomorrow. Anyone work for Douglas Express there in Jackson? No drinking the product. Do I watch Smart Trucking? I do sometimes watch Smart Trucking, and I am subscribed to Smart Trucking, yes. There's even a Kottke in Minnesota. If you have, I think it's like 5 years, they're paying $57. Yeah, but Minnesota, I mean, holy mackerel. The police are saying, look, trucks and stuff are being broken into and people are being dragged out of their trucks. So be careful. That's what the cops say. How about stop this from happening? That's funny because in South Carolina or North Carolina, 3 women, it said, got stopped, actually pulled over and taken to jail for impeding the flow of traffic on the interstate because there was some slowdown that was supposed to happen. So they were going 10 miles an hour in the interstate. Okay, but then I look at a picture of Minneapolis. There's like 1,000 people on the interstate and there's police up on the bridges looking at them. That stops traffic too. Arrest all those people too. Cannot stand on the interstate. Heard anything about Big M? No. Big G. Did emotional support animals required to be licensed? There's no actual national licensing system for support animals. You can go on the internet and print a license out, but there's not like a national licensing thing for the support animal. That's why people say, oh, this, rooster or whatever is my support animal. There's no licensing system for them. An emotional support tarantula? I guess if it's in a box, I wouldn't mind that or something, What's your vector, Victor? Oh, right. Nice. See, I'm the co-pilot. Kareem, right? No, I'm the co-pilot. Oh, yeah. My dad, I love you, but my dad says you don't work hard enough on defense. What do you think about GP Transco? I think they're okay. You may want to give them a call. I hear good stuff about GP Transco. Yeah, some people have gone over there and then write in and say that they like it. So I do have that coming back. I decide my own schedule, both here at Smith. I'm solar powered. I only run between 5 and 9. See, I like nights because then during the day there's always parking if you're on the road, and at night there's less traffic. So if you'll run reverse of, if you'll do something different than everybody else, you'll find more success generally. The group generally is not that successful. Judges have way too much power that needs to be changed. Yeah, this kind of thing where they can just throw you in jail does need to be changed, but that is the current thing. That's what I always tell people. The law, yeah, should the law be changed? Yes, but this is the current law. So when you violate it and go to jail, you're like, well, this ought to be changed. That's great, but now you have an arrest record. So now what? Darnell Road's just getting in. Hello from Ontario, Canada. They sent me way north. Wow. I haven't been to Canada in a long time. Mid-90s, probably. No food allowed. There are my emotional support Twinkies. Yeah, those you can take on the plane with you. They did the song American Woman, which we all know was a patriotic one. Absolutely, right? I guess that's who did it. Oh, my gosh. My experience out here on the road was way too many truck drivers don't obey the speed limit at a high rate of speed. Everybody's trying to get in front of everybody. You know what I think people do not obey the most is following too closely. How about an emotional support roller wiener? Oh, that'd be great. Yes, and I have, let's see. Oh, right, here. This cat can take the cat break today. There's Bella. How about that? That cat is so great looking. Nice. Bella. Love it. Sent in by an astute viewer. Imperial, New York City. Right, exactly. Afternoon rolling through Wallace, Idaho. Nice. Last time I went to Canada, I got harassed coming back to the United States. Here I had to pull in and they inspected the whole load and everything. Just ridiculous. Going into Canada, they're like, you got any guns or smokes? I'm like, nope. All right. See you later, eh? Did a lightning round with our founder last week from last Friday. Probably going to keep a running tally of answers because we're asking the important stuff like dogs and cats, Star Wars, Star Trek. Well, we all know the answer to that. I meant 50 cents from GP Transco. Yeah, but 50 cents at 2,000 is better than 60 cents at 1,000. So the whole thing at the end of the week matters. If you're at a place where you get more stops, then stop pay is more important. If you're at a place that gets more miles, then miles is more important. I think if we all got hourly, none of this extra, you shouldn't have 40 rows on your paycheck for everything that you do. I think it's ridiculous. If you keep your partner on a leash, they are considered an emotional support animal. Maybe. They might be the reason that you need an emotional support animal. Depends. I saw Western Express. I'm waiting to get hit by a pan. I saw Western Express made the top 10 in highest paying. No way. Where'd that come from? Send a link to that. Are you kidding me? It always needs to be remembered power is corrupting and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yes, once judges get in there, then they have all this power. Nobody knows anything about judges when you go to vote for them. So, yeah. I've been sober 15 years. You're not messing that up. Good. That's very good. Hey, Steel Horse, what's happening out there? Is it still going good? I assume you're still rolling, being what you're doing. Is Big M the one with the bulldog on the side? Oh. Wish they had a bulldog in front of the truck. Hello, Paladin. When's the next brake check? Oh, right, July 12th. I should have wrote that down. That week is coming up, and that's the brake check is the next month, right? But that month is speeding safety week, not brake safety week, though. Oh, I should have wrote that down. I will have that next week. It is not coming up this week. I'm going to, let's see, where did I go off here? I'm going to GP Transco orientation. Oh, really? All right, well, let me know how it goes up there. Always want to hear back from people on that kind of stuff. But I've gotten a number of people that went there that seem to enjoy it. I know Smith required a letter from your doctor to get an emotional support animal in the truck. Yeah, they're required to they can ask you what's the story and what does it do for you. You know, what does the vehicle do? I saw Purple GP Transco Preacher Paul. Yeah, they'll hire owner operators, and some of those trucks are just random colored or whatever. They don't require you to paint your truck or anything. So you may see a different kind of truck or a different color truck for GP Transco. Probably an owner. I think the company trucks are either white or teal. Big M has a bunch of bonuses that up to 8 cents if you run perfectly and never work for them. Just talk to their drivers. That's all these bonuses and stuff too. I don't like that either. Some of them have a bonus matrix, which is what they call it. So you do 2 cents here and a penny there and a quarter cent here. And then if you do 90 days here, you get another penny. That's all ridiculous. Just pay people a regular rate of pay. Alexandra, hey, hope you're doing well. I'm going through Schuster orientation. Oh, what are they feeding you up there? It better be good food too. So that's good. And how'd you get there? That's another question I always like to ask people. How did they bring you up there? The man, when you get with the company, make sure you remember that you're the captain of the ship. What you say goes when you're behind the wheel if you don't like doing something. That's at any company. Absolutely right. Don't let them push you, bully you into something or whatever. Do not allow that, right? So I just had that problem Saturday at a trailer. Go pick up a trailer, right? And it's got the lights blink on it when you turn and it won't slide. And it needs to slide because of where the load gets picked up. The company requires it. So I'm like, it doesn't do any of this stuff. And they're always like, well, can't you just take it and we'll fix it? No. I'm like, no. Well, it's weekend. We don't have anybody to fix it. I go, I don't know what to tell you. So hour later, I was out there with a different trailer and paid for an hour. So, but you got to stand up for that kind of stuff is at every place. Just tell them, no, you're not doing it, and they're going to figure it out. Hope everybody's doing well. Alexandra, it's good to see you here. Need to hear about the chow. It better be something delicious. Most about the household goods miles. I'm in my 17 years of driving. I've never seen the book. I think it's up there with God next to the Book of Life. Yeah, there used to be a book. There was a book. You can find them online, or at least pictures of these books. The Household Goods Miles, Movers Miles book. And you could put the two cities and find the mileage between those two. Yeah, absolutely. Now that's all just in a computer. We'll be here till 1:30, Fleet Nav Systems, in case anybody's got Geotab or ELD questions. All right, it's good to have you at least until then. Because don't you think it's... you don't think it's safe, then don't do it. Don't let a company push you into doing something you don't want to. And don't be afraid to stand up for them and to demand to be paid for it. Absolutely. Although I will say, on the pay part of it, if you go to work for a company and you accept a pay, they go, here's our pay system. And you see, okay, like say Breakdown, for example, doesn't pay anything. And you accept that and say, I'll work here. You then can't really later say, I demand to be paid for this. Because you agree up front, I'm going to work for this pay that they're presenting to you. As long as they pay you what they say they will pay you, you're being paid what you will accept. You accepted that pay. It's not right later, just like it's not right for Maverick, I don't think, to change the guarantee lower. It's not right for you later to say, well, you know what? I said I don't want to be paid for this, but now I want to be paid for it. I don't think so. Don't work for a place that doesn't pay you acceptably for all the things that you should get paid for. When is the next 72-hour blitz happening? That is coming in a couple of weeks. I should have the exact dates here, which I don't. And it's safety, like falling too close, speeding, seatbelts, that kind of thing. Stan Dodge tax day's coming up. You got to file. Yeah, I don't think they're going to move it. They once talked about moving it from July 15th. I don't think that's going to happen. So that'll be tax day this year in a few weeks for everybody. By the way, if you get a refund, they talked about this on the radio. I'm not a tax expert. Contact the local FMCSA field office for that information. But if you file your taxes and were owed a refund, apparently you get interest back to April 15th because of some kind of quirk in the law. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying GP Transco isn't a great company. I'm just saying I can virtually guarantee you they're not the third highest paying company in the U.S. I don't know. We would have to survey every company, get an actual pay rate from them, and then put it all in the computer. That would probably be difficult to do. Let's see. Thanks for noticing about the guitar videos. I get $25 an hour, Misty, and $1,300 a week per weekly guarantee, which is nice. Plus per diem, right, where you travel, and a rental Rogue when I work out of town. I do have to unload my own truck. Can be a bit rough in the heat if you're not in shape. Well, most drivers are known to be some of the most fit people in the country, so that probably isn't a problem for them. So, but yeah, look, the guarantee is nice. Plus per diem, then you're really doing good. And, of course, a Rogue. Didn't I do a video on Big M? I think I did a video on Big G. I may have a Big M video. Oh, Bella. Yeah, we like Bella. It's so good looking. Come on, Al Johnson's going to come on the show, I hope, tomorrow and answer the lightning round questions for Fleet Nav. I heard that they are compiling those questions for a large prize. I'm going to be unloading booze for way less, but I had to get a Gulf Coast job. Well, you know, way less depends on how much your living expenses are, right? So someone in California and someone living there, if they made the same money, would have two different lifestyles. Pay by the hours the only way drivers should be paid. I think that would be the best way. There wouldn't be any, you wouldn't need any bonuses or any of this other stuff. Hourly for all your on-duty time, period. Nobody'd speed. You wouldn't be speeding if you cut your pay. People would log everything, too. You'd log legal then, wouldn't you? None of this trying to fudge it. You'd log everything legally. It would solve a lot of those problems. But seeing tractors with what look like to be solar panels built in the roof fairing, is that what they are and what they power? Yeah, maybe. For these electronic APUs, EPUs, maybe. I haven't seen one of those. I always thought it was a good idea. Why not do that? Most household good companies run PC miler. I enjoy odometer mileage. You are getting the best pay, right, other than hourly. And get paid a lot more. Yeah, the companies always say, well, we can't pay you hub pay because, you know, drivers will go out of route. But that can't be an excuse anymore. Years ago, I get what they're saying. Now they can track the truck. So they could see if you went, you know, down 300 miles out of route. So there's no way. New job starts tomorrow. Got to learn my route. But yeah, are you going to unload that truck too? Schuster brought me in a rental car. Oh, very nice. And they cater and pizza. I'll take it. And subs. And $15 in Wells bucks. Restaurants with an ice cream cone outside. Oh. And they'll give you a list of where it's accepted. All right, I'll take that. I'm back and I had to put dirt in the guard. Yikes, what the heck? What can you do if your company changes your pay, removes bonuses and such without any notification? Quit. Most states, that's legal to do at any time, just like Maverick. They can lower that. I don't think they should because I kind of find it as a contract. They say, here's our pay. So I go, I'll work there. And then if they go, okay, now I'm changing this. This guarantee we promised you we're not going to give you anymore. I see that as them breaking their deal with me. So, but the only thing you can do if they go, all right, tomorrow it's 10 cents less, you go, I quit. I'm not working for that. If you stay, though, you accept the new pay. You're accepting it, right? So people that, like a KLLM is always my best example, where it's 4 hours, no detention, and then it's $10 an hour, $12 an hour. Those people, once you work there and accept that pay, because it's on their website even, it's not like they hide it. And you can't then gripe, I don't get paid for the 4 hours. You accept that. You're like, all right, I don't like getting paid. I don't mind sitting for free. Okay, but your option is to quit. That's how you do it. If everybody did that, they'd pay for it. When I went there, I don't know if it changed. Well, look, hopefully it's still going to be some kind of good food. So what is practical route miles? My GPS and all mapping programs give you fastest or shortest. I think it was another made-up term from the mega carriers. It means practically 100% over HHG. No, practical miles is supposed to be the miles that are the best practical route for a semi to take, supposedly, on truck mapping software. Your phone and GPS or whatever are generally not going to have a practical mile because they don't have a truck route in there. It's usually pretty close. Most companies, from what most people tell me and stuff, right, it's pretty good. It's pretty close. If you'll find the route. See, when you get a route, when they tell you somewhere, even if they don't tell you how to get there, say, hey, what's the route on it? Because if they know it's 300 miles, 800 miles, whatever it is, a computer at some point has built a route for that load. Say, what is the computer built route for this load? Cash is king is set up, you get what you get. Yeah, exactly. The only bad Schusters, they pay you zip to zip. At least you get all that ice cream. Aviator practical miles are downtown to downtown instead of zip to zip. It's more accurate. Household goods is the actual miles. Household goods is not the actual. Household goods is the lowest way to get paid. Paid by the hour would turn trucking into a good job. It needs to be for all drivers. Yeah, paid by the hour plus overtime past 40, right? No excuses not to pay the GPS miles. No one gets cheated except the companies. Look, there's no excuses not to pay you hub miles, really, anymore. But really, though, there's no excuse to not just pay you by the hour. Because you're stuck in traffic. It doesn't matter if you're getting hub miles. You don't make any money. Traffic, you still get paid. Speed limit, you would be going the speed limit. When I worked at Smith, they paid practical miles, and I found myself losing 300 miles a week. That's a lot. Over 10%, that's crazy. Versus Hulk miles, which are bulk miles, I get paid for every single mile. Yeah, look, 10%, more than 10% like that is way high to lose on that. You should know you work for a great trucking company when they aren't hiring. That's true. You don't see any ads for your company? It's probably a pretty good place. When you see your company running $40,000 sign-on bonuses, not so wonderful. I stepped on a bee barefoot, and I can't hear out of my left ear. I had a good weekend. Yikes. Why is your ear on your foot? Mr. Beaner's here, late but here. I love it. What foot did you step on it with? I have a helper to unload the truck with me, so it's going to be super tough. Yeah, make the helper. That's what a helper. Make them do the work. You're the supervisor. That's what you got to tell them. Look, I'm the supervisor here. D.A. Simon, hello there. What's going on? I drove a Dodge Charger SRT10 from St. Louis to Schuster. It was fun. How'd you manage that? Is that all Enterprise had or whatever? Did they rent that, or is that something you've purchased? How long before Yellow files bankruptcy? They haven't been doing well. I don't know. Their stock stayed basically the same as last week, $1.64. Oh, you haven't ate lunch yet? Oh, that's right. It's Central Time. If drivers, or even Mountain Time, I don't exactly know what time they're in. If drivers really want to strike for something, it needs to be paid by the hour for all hours, including overtime. All logged time should be paid. And really, to be gone, it should pay you $2,000 a week. It should. To be gone. Tell me that broker is paying attention and you'll get that pay. Well, look, if you wait around, you should be paid. That's what I think. Your time should be paid. Al John's like the yellow video. Thank you very much. I had a company change my payroll twice, hence my former company. Yeah, look, if they're going to lower your pay, that's ridiculous. I don't know who does that. But they can do it. They could say tomorrow you get 20 cents a mile. And then if you stay, I guess it's 20 cents a mile. Yeah, but your option is to leave like you did. Absolutely. I found that 56 cents a mile off the odometer with the amount of miles we're doing, plus the crazy amount of stop pay, accessory pay, I make more than enough to cover it. I just like getting hourly. I don't have to worry about, that's their problem. And if I don't find a load, I'm sitting there, I'm getting paid. Paid $8,000 for a 2009 International, lasted 9 months. Did it have the Max Force in it? Scrapped it for $1,000. Well, that was a pretty good deal. You only lost a little under $1,000 a month. Yikes. You're waiting to finish your physical? Oh, they're not going to feed you unless you pass that. They're going to no. You couldn't pass your physical. We're not giving you any more food. What would I make? What I would make at another carrier, even if I got detention pay, I'm not upset about it because even if I have to sit somewhere for 6 hours and not get paid, I'm still making a whole lot more. And that's the problem. That some places pay it, some don't. But if you got hourly, $25, $30 an hour plus overtime, you'd make the same money and get paid for all of your time. What company has the most generous vacation time? I got 1 day off for every 115 hours of work. That's a weird way to do it. So basically every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you get a day off. It just adds up. Celadon actually had a pretty good deal. 30,000 miles, right? You got a week off. And we see where they are. Have you ever heard of RLM leasing, Kevin? Just saw a video on it. Trucks are a little older. $1,350 a month. No credit. I love it. No credit check. All right. So I don't know. Is the truck any good? At least look, you're getting the truck from outside of a motor carrier. So at least you're doing that. If the truck's good, it's worth $13.50. If the truck is horrible, it's just not worth the zero money because it'll forever be broke down, you know. So that'd be tough, especially on an older truck. Hate to see how bad Yellow's doing, how they messed that up. Look, I don't know if they're ever going to catch this health insurance thing up. They need to catch that up. If people start going to the doctor there for Yellow and then the bill's not paid, they're going to have some pretty upset people. That's for sure. Old Crony's Garage is headed out. See you later. Thanks for being here. $64,000 question. Why does anyone drive a truck for mileage pay? I guess it depends how many mileage and stuff you get. But certainly everybody, road, local, everybody should get paid hourly. Plus overtime. Don't forget the overtime. If you're losing 10% of practical miles, are you sure they're not doing the Western Express of calling practical household goods miles? Yeah, because that's way high on practical. You should have been way closer on that. Way closer. Alexander, they told you to take any full-size sedan. I saw that, and you're set. Oh, that's a great idea. Just go pick any of the full-size sedans. All right, let me go take a look. That would have been awesome. I cannot tell you how many burnouts I'd do in that all the way up there because I'd get the extra insurance. Poly doesn't run a bunch of ads. It takes like a month to get hired on here, so they don't have a problem getting drivers. It's over $2,000 a week. It's a done deal. Exactly. Hourly pay helps you sleep. Yes, because you're getting paid. I've always said hourly should be for your time of your work time. You're going to have a tough time convincing a company to pay you to sleep, like hourly the whole night. I got a friend hanging on at Yellow due to surgical procedure. Exactly. I tried to tell her that by next month she'll be likely be out of luck. If they don't make that payment, they have like 20-some days left to make the health insurance payment, and that is a real problem. So if she can get that procedure moved up, that'd be great. The Dow's up 475 points today. That's great. I had a company back in 2008 give all drivers a 12% pay reduction. Claimed the company economy was so bad we had to do 12% give back every week to keep the company going. Oh, that's good. Did the CEO and everybody give a give back too? I mean, I want everybody to give in then. Are Sierra England with 3 drivers saving lumper charges if they have their own unloading crew? We have more lumpers in this truck than you guys have in the dock. I think what they do is go lump a different truck too. Their truck and 2 other trucks. And that way they make the whole thing back on the load. And then they can save 3 children with every one load. All drivers need to understand pay by the hour, the only way to go. Let's get together. Yeah, I can't get people to agree that sitting for free is bad. So it's tough to get people to do hourly pay. Get off Celadon. They are the only $1.50 less. They're only $1.50 less a share than Yellow. That's true. You know, it's amazing to me that Yellow stock is barely more than Celadon stock. Joel Hendricks, hey, what's going on? If I got paid hourly, I highly doubt I'd still make $8,000 in a month. It depends. You wouldn't have to work as hard to make money. You know, you might make more per hour. Poly's not really a company. They're a manufacturing company with factories. Yeah, they're hauling basically their own stuff with backhauls. They haul trucks, haul their own freight. You did buy extra insurance. The car ate gas. Well worth it. You're only paying for the gas. And the extra insurance is certainly Duke's a hazard, that car, all the way up there. Subdivision of Poly America. What do they make there at Poly anyway? I had a hard time keeping it under 70. Yeah, well, you should have shifted into second. Most trucking companies don't pay for extra miles due to route detours. However, they will always take money from you if you're out of route regardless of reason. That's true. And I have had places over the years where I have to tell them, hey, because of this hazmat, I had to go around Indianapolis, and you're paying through Indianapolis. You better add that 12 miles or whatever on my check. So don't let them get away with that, certainly. Wonder if the union will make the insurance payment for Yellow. Steel Horse. You know, that's always a thought, and they may have to because they're going to have like a mutiny on their hands if they don't do something. They'll have to work something out with Yellow because all these drivers, they would be forced to leave. A lot of them, if they're having if they need the medical or whatever, would be forced to leave. That's one of the problems, I guess, of getting medical from a company. You're almost forced to stay there. If you won the Powerball, what cars would you buy? Well, I'd be in the market for a Yugo GV, of course. Always looking for that. Always looking for the Yugo GV. D. Smith, on a 3,200 meal week, I lost 3,200. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Hey, Dr. Roller Arena, Roger Penske, what's going on? I get a midsize, which includes a Nissan Frontier pickup. You should get a Rogue. I got an F-150 once as an upgrade because they didn't have a midsize available for no extra charge. Those more gas, but you said you had that Rogue. If you're working for a company that is having 3 drivers in your truck, you need a real job. There's only one at the moment. Only one. Alexandra's taken off. Got to be safe. Thanks for coming in and let me know in the updates of that place. I'd really like to see what they're doing over there, as current, because as I put videos out and time goes by, the videos get stale. They get older and older. You will have companies only wanting to pay you $12 an hour, but then, Jordan B., you're not going to work there. Would you accept $12 an hour? That's the thing. And they go, we'll pay you $12 an hour, maybe for 24 hours a day. You could talk about it, almost $300 a day. I mean, plus overtime past 40. Nobody's going to pay $12 an hour because people wouldn't do it. I think that's the thing of it. They have to pay what they can pay to get people in the industry. So the FMCSA is now considering hair follicle testing because the ATA is pushing them to do it, and the Truckload Carriers Association is also on it. They support it because it's cheaper, really. It's way cheaper than doing the current type of testing. So they want to do hair follicle testing on all companies. Some companies do it now already, but the hair follicle test cannot be reported on any drug screens or anything like that. They still have to do the regular test because it's not a DOT certified test. So they want to do hair follicle testing. What do you think? Hair follicle? Be easier to do, I guess. Wouldn't have to time it out right, so you make sure you get in there when you can, give them the testing sample. Most yellow drivers need the medical form for being beaten up for driving their ugly, uncomfortable trucks. And, well, for years, I did see, they had like the oldest white GMCs, if you remember those, with big holes in the floor, rusted out, bombs and stuff. Yeah, some of the trucks look a little newer now. But whenever you talk to a yellow driver, they're always like, oh, well, yeah, but look at all the money I make here, whatever. So they kind of tolerate the truck for the extra pay. I guess they just got air conditioning not that long ago in most of their trucks. Some of them didn't have air until very recently. Roger Penske, the beautiful thing about the Korean Mafia, they're completely clueless about how many miles I drive. Or they don't care if they do. Yeah, because you're just like a front there for all their stuff that they're doing on the back end of it, right? Roadway was a great company before Yellow bought them. They had the old trucks too, though, at Roadway. They weren't any kind of saint on trucks, certainly. People take 17 cents a mile. People would take $10 an hour. That's hard to believe. And who's paying 17 cents? No, not for solos. I cannot imagine a driver driving for $10 an hour. Whenever I see an ad under $20 an hour for a Class A driver, I'm always thinking, wow, I can't believe somebody is calling them for. I've seen 17 advertised, at least in Indianapolis, for drivers. And I'm like, do they really give people a call in for that? Oh, Poly makes plastics and recycling. Make lots of store brand garbage bags. Oh, and a whole bunch of farm products and construction and industrial stuff. Oh, all right. All right, then. Sam, I got a call from a recruiter at England, and he said that they want you back. Oh, England would like you to come back, and they'll forgive your schooling costs and a brand new truck of your choice of a Freightliner International. Tell them Western Star and you're in. And send that in writing. I just want to make $1 billion a year. Is that too much to ask? Yeah, well, apparently. My company has a hard time finding people due to hand unloading of trucks. That's probably true. That's why it pays well. I get reimbursed on my gas for my rental car as well. Yeah, certainly they should, and that's good of them. So basically your whole trip is taken care of, including extra pay for per diem and your $1,300 guarantee at least. Yeah, but the unloading, yeah, that's going to be a problem. I assume it works kind of like CVS works in Indianapolis, which I see ads for all the time. That's probably why they run ads. They pay really good too, and they actually have free medical insurance there. I can't remember the name of the company that does it, but M&M, right? M&M Transport does CVS out of Indianapolis, and they always need drivers too. But it says on there, hand unload at the store. So I assume that's why they don't keep people. It's so surprising because all I see walking around are fit drivers. So you'd think they'd want to do it. Why do you think the trucking industry has so many law and demands just to keep an MC and a license? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that end of it, the MC numbers and stuff, the owner-operator stuff. They have 5 factories, 2 in Texas, 1 in Nevada, and 1 in Minnesota, and 1 in South Carolina. All right, so that is a good triangle to run in, certainly. Fleet Nav Systems is headed out. Have a good one. Be safe. All right, don't forget to head over and hit them up. Hit them up, that's what the kids say. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, live. And then be sure to stay at the end for the lightning round and the possible prize. Hair test is the way to go. Faster, don't have to drink a gallon of water. I know, or a gallon of vinegar, right? Am I right? Okay. No, but seriously, right? They could do that right there, pop it in and go. So, I don't know. It seems like it's a better deal. The only reason they want to do it, let's be honest, it's way cheaper. So with all the people that they're running through at all these ATA companies, when they hire 500 people a week and keep 7 people, it costs them a fortune to do all these drug screens. So that's the only reason they want to do it, but I think it'd be faster and simpler. You walk on a car dealer and say, I'm a coupe man, and they look at you like you're an idiot. I'm a coupe man. Yeah, they go, what's that? The guy with the hair bun and the skinny suit jeans on says, dude, what's a coupe? I guess that's how they talk, like they're from California. Volvo day cabs with no fairings and missing body parts scare me. That's a lot of these, that's Chicago container drivers, right? $11 an hour day cab in El Paso, Fast Joe Corrigan. That's crazy. I'll have to look that up on Craigslist, but that's crazy. Who would do that? Who are they going to get to do that for $11 an hour? It's $12 at Target. Someone told me over the weekend that FedEx was paying team mileage at 75 cents. I found that hard to believe. Now, I've seen FedEx ads, Misty, for that, and high 70s. On dedicated runs for FedEx. Yeah. So I have seen that where they're talking 2,000 plus per person per week. Dukes of Hazzard got canceled. It did? Oh man, I'm not woke yet. That's true. I didn't hear about that. It didn't get canceled in this house. If you tell the employees at trucking companies that work in the office to stay in the office after an 8-hour shift and not get paid, they'll have a meltdown. But if it's you, it's no problem. But that's drivers. I mean, why do we do it? Right, the office people should get mad. They go, no, you have to pay me for that extra time. Drivers should be like, pay me. I don't see why companies they're like all offended by that. Like, oh, I'm doing extra work. Are you going to pay me for that? Oh, what? Shouldn't you just do this out of the goodness of your heart? I'm like, no, this is not a volunteer organization, okay? We get paid or not, or it's not happening. Sir England's paying 14 cents for a new driver teaming. Well, that's 28 cents really, right? Split. I lost my flip-flops, so I'm driving barefoot. Unit 2, yikes. Is that the only... Don't tell me flip-flops are like the only pair of footwear that you have. These Volvos fall apart and don't age well. Yeah, but they're so smooth. They drive so smooth. We just love them for that. You can't leave the recommended space between you and the vehicle in front of you because now I can four-wheelers, but truck drivers will move right in front of you and push even further back. Yeah, some guy... This was Saturday night, too. There's nobody out. This is late early Sunday morning. I'm coming back, passes me, and comes over 41 feet show up on the thing, on the display in front of me. 41 feet between the two of us. Really? And there's nobody around. Oh my gosh. Crazy. CVS loads are not great. Okay. See, I never did one, but they just run ads, and the pay looks really good there. They're too far for me to drive down there, but the pay looks good. Al Johnson's going to try to make the lightning round. I hope so. Get enough questions right and win a prize. Family Dollar, you also have to fingerprint during your unload. Yes, but I think they tell you that up front, right? On those roller things where you roll the stuff in. I see a lot of U.S. Express trucks with Family Dollar trailers, at least in this area. Trucking Journeys gets $25 a month for cleaning supplies and $50 reimbursement for cell phones because they do almost all the load stuff over the phone. That's pretty good. I get a discount, which is a lot of companies at AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, or whatever you call them, and go, I work for a company and I want a discount. And so the cleaning supplies they have at the office, you can get some, like Windex and stuff. They have that stuff. Love the Trucking Answers uniform. You look great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. They reimburse for almost everything. Yeah, well, look, like windshield washer fluid and stuff, that kind of stuff, it's their truck. Anything on the truck they ought to pay for, certainly. How does drinking a gallon of vinegar help? It may help you pass the test. So I've read on the internet. All right. I've heard from friends. Morning or early afternoon, ladies and gents, T-Man 485. Fleet Nav and GP Transco. Fleet Nav just took off out of here. Hopefully everyone is having a great Monday and hopefully a great 4th. I hope everybody gets the long weekend and paid for the holiday. Another thing companies don't do, some don't. Are you getting paid this holiday? I have to load or unload. I need to be paid. Yes. Forklift might just go through the wall. You look, everything extra that you do, you should be paid for. You should be paid for it. And I don't think that's too much to ask of a company when you're an employee there. Other people don't just do stuff for nothing. Who told you the hair tests are cheaper than a urine screen? All the companies. And believe me, they wouldn't push it if it wasn't cheaper. Every company on there says they're like 10 to 20% of the cost of a urine screen. And so, look, these big companies that are doing tons of these tests wouldn't encourage something that cost them even more money. So, moldable, we're moldable. I wish that was the case. Hunsley, nothing for nothing, but when you're stuck at the truck stop for the weekend, you always can smell someone smoking weed. That's true, and they should get booted out of there, absolutely. No weeding and driving. It'd be the same for me as a DUI, right? Don't tolerate that. I wouldn't tolerate this either. I was asked for a hair test when I got the weight loss surgery. I could only drink an egg size of water. Oh, that's interesting. That's right, because you got the sleeve or band or something, and so your stomach is not big enough. So you had to wait to kind of fill the reservoir up to give them a sample. You'd think they would, you could get some kind of, I guess you can't though, it's a DOT regulation. You must give a sample. I was thinking you could get a medical exemption for that, but no, there's no exemption for that. USX doubles guys make that hauling FedEx. Have you ever heard US Express disabled their driver-facing camera and their lytics camera? No, I have not heard that at all. And as far as I know, they have not disabled their cameras. So, Poly Trucking, not to mention we don't have cameras at Poly. That's good. They promise the drivers to never get them. I will say I'm seeing that in ads now for companies. None of our trucks have radar or lane departure, or even the brand new ones. I wonder how they get it without them. It comes on a Freightliner, so maybe they order them without them. Good. I don't like any of that stuff anyways. There are other trucking... Al Johns wears Crocs. Yikes. That's like flip-flops. They're just like industrial flip-flops. There are other trucking jobs near home. Dump, excavation, local, cement, recycling trucks. Oh, yeah, garbage trucks. Nobody thinks about that. City and county garbage. Yeah, there's all that. What about the garbage company? That around here, Republic every once in a while hires. It starts at 23 or something an hour in their ads. That's $1,000 a week, basically. And you're home every day, so... I'm working on a trucker song called Socks and Flops. Oh, that's interesting. That could be taken several ways, especially at the manhole on the weekends. It depends with FedEx because of all the contractors. Yeah, it does, but there's some that advertise, pretty good pay there. So I could see them at 70-some cents being legitimate. I'm built like a Bond villain. If I want to wear hair come on me, you'll have to go to my Grand Canyon. Believe me, they said they go wherever it is. They're like... archaeologists, hairologists. They go and explore and find it wherever they can get it. I was the front end manager at a major strip hotel in Vegas, and hair follow tests are twice as much. They want to go to hair testing because it shows anything you've done in months. Well, how would that benefit the company? I mean, I always look when they're trying to do this. How would that benefit them? So we have mostly what was at least in this article, ATA companies are all in favor of this. So if it costs more, that's going to cost them even more money. And if they go to hair follicle, even more of their drivers then will lose their jobs or not get hired, which would then cost them even more money. So what's the benefit to them then? I guess I don't see the benefit. If you make a trucking song about roller wieners, they'll buy 10 copies. Yeah, we'll feature that here. I wish Garbage Man paid better. Can't live on 15. It's low 20s here to start for Republic. And from what the thing says, you go pick up all the dumpsters. It's the dumpster garbage person. I do Walgreens stores. It's certainly physical. Yeah, I assume that the CVS is kind of similar, and it does say that it's unloading the trailer. It says basically don't call us if you're not interested in unloading. But it pays good. It pays good. US Express removed in-cab facing camera 2 years ago. I haven't heard that. There's tons of people that say, look, I just got on camera or whatever. Dollar General accounts seem to be regional. Werner has one over in my area. US Express must have the Lafayette one because I'll see them sometimes parked there at night waiting, which Dollar General, it's not like in the high-class area of town. So sleeping in front of a Dollar General, I don't think I would do that. I mean, there's a truck stop here and a Meijer. I'd probably rather park there and drive over to the Dollar General. But what they probably do is just creep back into the dock and stay in the sleeper so don't use their hours because people that do that aren't getting paid enough money. That's what I think. You wouldn't have to cheat your hours if you felt like you were making enough money. Werner, Covenant, and US Express do Family Dollar. Oh, that would stink. At Covenant, Teams, you got to sit there while somebody unloads a truck? Forget it. Steel Horse is going to get holiday pay. That's excellent. That's excellent. People should get that. A urinalysis costs $65 and hair follicles $1.25, and it goes back for months. They're getting a break on the insurance because there will be cleaner drivers out there. But are they getting enough of a break when they're going through, well, always the example for Hirschbach, 2,000 drivers a year? That's extra $60 a person. They're throwing out, 120,000 extra dollars to, are they getting that kind of cut on their insurance on that kind of thing? I don't know about that. How do you track a message? I don't know. The 3 dots, maybe? I have to jack down my truck on 90 degrees into 90% of my stops. My docking skills are rusty now. Yeah, because you don't have to go to a dock anymore, right? But then this way, it doesn't have to be perfect either. It's only $15 an hour to prove your worth. What do you have to do to prove your worth at the garbage truck company? That's the question I have for that, I guess. Hair test is the best. Just stop doing drugs. That's true. I mean, you shouldn't be doing drugs. I mean, they reimbursed me for an $80 CB antenna and a $60 TV mount. Plus the truck came with a CB. So here's a CB, no antenna. Where'd you find an $80 antenna? So US Express has no driver cams, all right? They should post that out there, because that would be a deal to get people over there. I wish they could do the hair follicle testing just to thin out the herd. Yeah, if it's going to, look, if people are doing drugs in the last 90 days, then I agree they shouldn't be in a truck. CFI is MCT parent company now. Oh, God. How's that going to go? Mr. Wiener. Our company has been doing hair follicles for 10 years. Wow. The only bad thing about the hair testing can go back 5 years. How is that? Oh, maybe on Wild Bill it could, but I don't think on the rest of us. Depends on the company if they want to hire. Really? So Wild Bill? Yikes. Who knows? Everybody else, though, I don't know if it can go 5 years. They say 90 days. Crocs are so much better than flip-flops. How about shoes? How about let's wear some shoes? How about that? How about Fila's? I would rather get blood than a urine test. So, yes, a hair sample would be great. Do you know how far back? The most places say 90 days. And I get those questions every once in a while. I never... does this place do hair follicle? And I'm like, shouldn't make any difference. So, or I was like, don't ever ask the company, hey, do you do hair follicle, and how far back exactly does it go? That's not a great question to ask people. They do it. Believe me, they do it. Urine test is 30 days. Blood work is 90 days. Hair follicle, I can't go 10 years on a hair follicle. I barely have hair that's been grown 3 weeks. It keeps falling out all over the place. We don't have Freightliner. Trucking Journeys, we don't have Freightliner, International, Peterbilt. That's it. Oh, they have to pay extra to take it off. I know they have to order that special. They can't guarantee the radar and lane departure will ever happen for us. Good. Eventually, it'll probably just be on the truck and you'll have to get it. But only because it's probably going to be mandated in brand new trucks sometime down the line. Yeah, that's true. You won't have, but as long as they're not doing anything about it, if it's not connected to a camera, then you just deal with it. I would cover it, personally. I mean, if you did take like a piece of cardboard and folded aluminum foil over that cardboard in the shape of the sensor on the front of the bumper, and then tape that to the front bumper with tape that matched the color of the bumper where it couldn't be seen, that would block the radar and it wouldn't work, and the truck would just be disabled. But you probably shouldn't do that. So absolutely don't do that. I think the mega curious wanted a hair follicle for safety reasons. Imagine how much those lawsuits when a guy hits someone and then he fails a drug test. Yeah, that's true. But I will say, does that happen? I mean, I really hardly ever read about that where like later the driver failed a drug test. Very rarely. At worst case, it's almost always DUI. They've drivers on drugs. There's so few drug ones that I can remember. It's like every once in a while. Like you said, even hardly any of the cases are over $1 million. Hardly any of the lawsuits, even though they're griping about that. So yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's that many doing that, Oh, Kenneth Schneider, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I try to be me all the time. So, but thank you very much. When it comes to hair follicle testing, supposed to cut 2 inches and the width of a pencil. Wow, that's going to be a problem. I'd say I want that back when you're done with it. Yuck. Our company's been doing it because we produce our own product. And production workers would get hurt, and some of them were high on something. That put a stop to a lot of workers' comp. Well, I think in a warehouse, people don't think about it as much as driving, right? Maybe it's a wedge issue. Unloading is where you make the money. I average less than 2,000 miles a week, but still gross 1,400, and you spend 3 nights in the truck and you get exercise. Yeah, so it depends. You're not getting the mileage. You get it on the unload. So it depends on what you're doing in the job. The mileage pay isn't everything. $1 a mile, if you only get 500 miles, you need to make that up on other stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, more people fail drug tests, more work for us. That's correct. You get more people out of the industry, pay goes up. And really, if people that are doing drugs shouldn't be driving anything, much less a truck. Costs more person, but saves them tons of money. For insurance, stricter rules, cleaner drivers. I'm saying that a company like Hirschbach would cost them $120,000 a year, approximately, on your numbers. I can't imagine they save $120,000 on insurance. That's just incredible. The insurance that can't even cost them that much, I don't think. I mean, they could call Geico and save a bunch of money. How they help to get the autonomous issue further in the door, that might be, I didn't think about that. They could say, well, once they test, we have all these more drivers, and then the government may loosen up the regulations. Now, that could be something. Misty, my boss told me they laugh at your driver cam videos. What are you doing? When the sensor goes off, I stick up my tongue and make faces at the driver cam. I've never gotten in trouble at this company, so no big. Yeah, look, yell at it or whatever. Yeah, so at least it gives them something to think about back at home base. And I guess they know you're still out there doing stuff. Time for trucking answers, Daniel. Much like a good tracksuit or a good set of flip-flops. Oh, yeah, I love it. Tracksuit, flip-flops, yes. Musafar, my friend who worked for Swift, told me they claimed during orientation, I'm still allowed to say that now, that they fired 25% of drivers due to dirty hair tests, and safety went up by 25%. That's so incredible. Why would people apply? Why do you apply for a job if you think you won't pass the test? How about that? If you think you won't pass, don't apply, because once you fail, you got a real problem getting a job. I mean, I don't even think a Western would put you on. Western Express. I save a lot of money not eating at truck stops when giving it to you a portion. That, I appreciate that. Shoes are for wimps. A Go Bear, use a water bottle to wash them off. Or you just use the sink in the bathroom, right? Everybody's seen that disaster. Yikes. How long will a roller wiener stay on your system on a hair follicle test? More than 10 years. That's a good thing. Once you eat a number of them, you don't have to eat again. Your system is just full of them because they never break down. They use them here to repair storm sewers and stuff. George Wilson, a company in Maywood, Illinois that does refuse hauling called Roy, requires you to be able to mount and dismount vehicle 1,000 times a day. Really? I can't in 8 hours, even, 10 hours would be 100 times an hour. More than once a minute. So they must be doing the alley pickups or whatever, where they actually throw the garbage can. I think that'd be a little tough on somebody like me in my extreme upper 30s. It's time for truck drivers, Benji, to be offered minimum wage like regular workers. $18.30. Oh, and time and a half after 40. That'd be incredible. The outcry from the public would be so loud, you wouldn't even be able to hear yourself think. If they passed an $18.30 minimum wage, people that just tried to get 15 at McDonald's would be freaking out and stuff. So the best drivers would probably be able to hope for is federal minimum wage, which is not enough money. If you're bald like me, they take your other hair. I'm not letting someone dig around your anywhere with a blade. From what people have told me, we don't do hair follicle where I am, but from what people have written in, said, they will go get hair wherever they need to get it. So you'll find those cameras will save your butt, Michael Swift. No. You could run a dash cam like I do, which could do the same thing without it having watch you and without some goober at your company. This is not all companies, but a lot of companies, somebody come at your company and talk to you about what's on the camera. That doesn't drive. That's the problem with the camera, is the coaching part of it. Coaching. Oh, hey, I'm 20. I don't know how to drive. I'm going to coach you on what you've been doing wrong here. No. They didn't do that. People wouldn't be as aggravated by them. I'm thinking if you have to worry about doing a urinalysis or hair test, maybe truck driving is not for you. Exactly. And do not ask the company which one they do or how long they go back. Don't ask them that. Go get your own home drug test at the store, at Walgreens or CVS, and test yourself. You can easily disable the lane departure by putting a cardboard in front of the camera mount on the windshield. Yes, and then they fire you. That the lane departure isn't the problem. I find the radar to the cruise control one to be the bigger problem, because it goes off on road signs and other kind of stuff like that. I don't mind the lane departure, because on our truck, you hit a button and it turns it off to just restart the truck. I remember when you were with Decker a year ago, I got fired for having CBD. And they said it's a drug and it's a DOT violation, even though a DOT officer said it's not and had it in writing. The CBD is a problem because you don't know what's in it. Some people have been fired for using it because it's got the wrong stuff in it. I wouldn't have it in the truck. I wouldn't. Is Geico the new sponsor? Yeah, I hope so. Next week, the Lizard will be on the show with me as my co-host. A company like Hirschbach that hires so many drivers, I'm sure they get the bulk discount on a drug test. Cash is king. Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea. They probably get some kind of discount on the drug test. Hey, we're going to be sending you guys 1,000 drug tests a month, so can we get some kind of discount? We're going to be sending you 3 wigs worth of hair every month. Faces at all of the I do goofy faces on the Border Patrol checkpoint and wonder what do they think about that? Here's another one for you. If I can't pass a drug test, why would you even call a company and ask if they do the hair follicle? It's like admitting, trucking jerseys. Yeah, people do it, though, all the time. And GP Transco has said that, maybe 10% of people ask them about it. How far back does a drug test go? Who asks a company that? Hey, you going to be testing me back 90 days, or what's the story? That's, Misty, that's why Western Express hire convicts. They're really good at passing drug tests. Oh, that's true. They know how to pass all that stuff. That wine you make in the garbage bag, they can't read that stuff. Garbage bag wine. We all know what I'm talking about. Kelly, I'm at one orientation. They said if you need to study for a drug test, you can leave. 3 people walked out. They go, man, this isn't right. And they probably are like, we can't even believe what's happening here. I know after a fender bender I had in Indianapolis, I had to go get a drug test. Really? Did somebody get towed away? I got to go watch some video and then it's back to driving. So did a car get towed or did anybody get a ticket? Megacures are self-insured. They're self-insured for the first so many million, yeah. I'm bald. They take hair from my armpit. All right. That's got to be... Do they yank it? That would aggravate you, or do they cut it? I think that'd be better. You could shave it off and say you're practicing for a swim meet. I probably could make more at Swift selling urine than driving a truck. Just be outside the terminal Monday mornings for orientation day. Here's another thing about the dash cam. It's got to be careful and make sure it's on the loop record so that it overwrites itself every so often until you save it. Yeah, look, mine saves about 6.5 hours per SD card, the card that I have in it. So anything that you would see, you have to press the button to hold that if it didn't do it. But yeah, 6.5 hours and it overwrites. You can get a bigger card though. It could still do the same thing. Like in your accident, you'd have it because I have the last 6.5 hours. So there'd be no problem showing exactly what happened on your dash cam from the truck. They wouldn't need their camera, which you don't have, but they wouldn't need to have a camera in the truck. Cost of living expenses have reached 19 years now, or it's 20 years. The driver's not been paid since 2001. They haven't had a pay raise since then because of that, basically. Eat enough roller wieners, you become a roller wiener. Yeah, you are what you eat. That's what my mom always told me. We strike and don't settle for anything less than $20 an hour to start. I guess it depends where you live. And I always encourage people to go on their own strike. If a company makes you sit 4 hours without being paid, everybody walks out on Monday. Everybody gets paid on Tuesday. Andrew, proving your worth is showing up your job and not calling in. If you're taking a driving job for $15, it's not going to be a good one. Most of these jobs listed pay more than $15 an hour. Okay, yeah, but I agree with you. No matter what you agree to on the pay, right, you should always come to work. You agreed to the pay, come and do a good job. If you don't like the job, quit. But you can't come in and do half a job because you go, well, I'm only getting paid half what I'm worth. You accept the pay. You can always leave in America, and I guess they can always fire you. George Wilson, Roy Strom, trucking in Maywood, a driver around 1st and Madison Avenue. If you can't pass a drug test, you need to find another job. Exactly. Some companies required after any accident. All right, maybe that's the case. Oh, it's company policy. All right, there we go. No tickets. They just said everybody does it. I guess that saves them on insurance too, possibly, because they can say, we test everybody no matter what. Any damage to the truck, whether it's a mud flap off or anything, you have to get a drug test and a breathalyzer test. Wow. They're being thorough, I guess. Cash is king. I prefer my drug test to be multiple choice, and I'll take D, all of the above. I have all of the above, thank you. I got a ticket for not entering the scales, but I had the green light in the truck. How do I fight it? Oh, that's interesting. Well, what? The green light blinking in the truck blinks for what, 10, 15 minutes? Didn't the officer that pulled you over see that light blinking in the truck? What happened with that? So that's the next question. That light continues to blink for a while just for this very reason, the thing says. So when I applied for a cheese factory, they took my arm and hair so I didn't have a patch on your head. Oh, nice. They go, look, you're already, you need all the hair you can get. Taillight burned out, drug test. Yeah. Go see you at the drug test. Somebody at GP Transco is playing golf at Grand Canyon University golf course. How do you know that? I wish you took pictures. I'd snap it. How do you know that they're from GP Transco? You know, I was surprised to learn that at least out of Dallas, Domino's Pizza runs their own trucks and trailers. That is true. They do. Papa John's stuff. I've seen all those pizza trucks seem to have their own trucks and trailers. Creepy Joe's here. Watch the hands. What's a good dash cam for four-wheeler that won't break the bank? Someone stole my lady's license plate. Yeah. Look, I like that one. The one I use, which is at truckinganswersnation.com. You can get it there, and they give me like $2. Or you can just go on Amazon and get it if you like. Don't give Mark $2. So either way, I use an Acaso dash cam, and it has a forward-facing and rear-facing camera. Now, I don't have the one facing me turned on. You can turn it off. But I like it because if an officer was to come and talk to you at the door, you could turn that on. So there's no question about what was said or what was done in the truck. And so that's what I got. I think they sent me one, then I bought two more for our cars because I really like it. But the one I got free, it's around $80, and it does a really good job. It just puts an SD card in there, and I like it. So that's the one I recommend, and I use them. I use them every single day. When I go in today, I'll be putting it in and using it. Mark went through Lafayette last month, picked a load-out trailer at Wabash. Oh, thank you for being here. You should have honked when you went by. They're everywhere, so basically anywhere in town you can go. Wabash has new trailers parked all over the place. I do like the fact that most truck stops are cleaner than a Walmart restroom area. The parking lots are definitely cleaner than 2 years ago. They're doing better. Walmart bathrooms are used by a lot of people. So when I was at England, there was a student that asked safety if there was a way to study to pass the test. The drug test, they still hired, and soon he got fired for smelling like weed. Dang it. It's so surprising that he would get fired for that. Oh, pre-pass should have a record of the bypass. That's true, too. I'm surprised. What did the cop do when he came up to the truck, though? There's more to the scale story, because the light should be blinking. Creepy Joe Blackview has 4K cams. Yikes. That's, is that, that much necessary? I guess Dubai Like Eagle is a Werner subcontractor company. Running like 100 or more trucks with Werner, way nicer trucks than Eagle. Kind of like, I shouldn't have started that. I can't remember the name of that company that is leased on the Swift. There's like a huge fleet in Tucson that's leased on the Swift that does the same thing. When I worked for Quickway, we had a driver have an owl smack a mirror and broke it. They made him pee in the cup after a shift. Darnell, nice. See, maybe if he had that on dash cam, they wouldn't make him do it. But if every accident, then every accident. That seems like that's a waste of money to them. And I feel bad for the owl, by the way. I don't know why in this day and age, why any driver would gambling using illegal substances. I don't understand it. You shouldn't be driving or doing any of that stuff. There's enough to worry about the show. Geez. What's the best way to submit CAD pictures to the show? You just email them to me, and I can see if I can get them on the show. Is it me or does that Geico lizard look like a bad roller wiener? Oh, we're not eating him. He gives big discounts on insurance because I use Geico. As I'm chewing on my toothpick, I'm wondering how often y'all company guys get drug tested. I haven't been, I shouldn't say this because they'll probably call me today. I haven't been random tested in well over a year. So probably 2018 was the last time, but there are some people that seem to go all the time. And it seems to work like that. So when you get the test, it seems like you're going to get 3 more tests that year, and then they don't call you again. You picked up 2 CAT engines in Lafayette Friday. Oh, nice. Yeah, right around the corner here. Right. Love it. They're busy over there right now at CAT. They hire 1,000 people, then they lay everybody off, then hire them. That's how it goes at that place. Depends on the state if you could follow the pre-pass. If you're getting the green light, the pre-pass must be on. It wouldn't just come on for you. So my light only blinks for a couple minutes, not 10 minutes for pre-pass. Doesn't it say 10 minutes or something in there? J&H Trucking out of Kansas is not great. It's all lies. Yeah. What exactly is the problem? What exactly are the lies that they're saying? On that. See, like there's a cat for the cat break. That's Gracie, though. They're all lies. What lies? Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. I had a random drug test the day after I told my CDL class how I found a bag of weed on a mountain bike trail over the lockdown. Exactly. They hear all that, and then they send you in for the test. And you'll probably get 3 more the rest of this year. When you come back from vacation, they test you. That's interesting. that they would do that. Maybe after a certain number of days out there, they want to test everybody. I wanted to tell this to everybody because it's important if you're going to New York State, anywhere in New York State. So if you've been in Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Washington, Utah, Texas, any of those states, and you go to New York, here's the regulations for people that are emergency workers, including truck drivers. That's actually listed. If you'll be in New York for 12 hours or less, you're supposed to limit your exposure to the public and wear a mask. If you'll be in New York State for 36 hours or less, meaning overnight, you must wear a mask outdoors and avoid the public. If you're going to be in there more than 36 hours at New York State, you need to have a COVID test within 24 hours of getting in New York State, wear a mask in public, and stay 6 feet away from everybody in public, and limit your public contact as much as practically possible. So if you do not have to be outside, you're not allowed outside. So what about that? You could say I'm not going to do it or whatever. That's from the governor. James Faust, who do I drive for? Well, that's an interesting question that for people that are on the show new, I don't ever answer. So I don't tell people where I work, and that keeps them out of the videos, you know, and I don't recruit for them, which unfortunately keeps money out of my pocket, but I think it keeps it better here because I try to keep it real. So that's the story on that. Weed is lame. I don't need anything that will make me eat more. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's enough things to do in the world, it would seem like, rather than that kind of stuff. So that's what I've always thought about it. If that guy who asked about a job in Texas is still here, another company out of Texas would be Royal. Take out those white trucks and white trailers. They run some pretty nice equipment from what I see. What do they pay? I mean, Western Distribution pays or has really nice equipment too, but I still would never send anybody there at 36 cents. Because they're all miles at that place. Georgia has the system up, but if the signs say pulling, you have to pull in even if your pre-pass gives you a green light. That's true. So if it says all trucks, then you have to come in too. So what exactly is the ticket? Just running a scale? I mean, I will say you're going to have a problem proving the light was green later unless you can get something from pre-pass. You'll need to get a printout or something. I don't know if there's a way to do that. Just say no to the governors. Well, this is a problem. I mean, if you're required to have a test and you don't get it and there's a problem, could you be in the same boat as this other driver where you're sitting in a jail cell? Is that a better solution? I don't think that's a better solution. But it's hard to get the test if you're a driver. But if you're in New York State and you come from any of these other listed states, this includes all essential workers, as he said, and they did say including truck drivers because it was in a trucking article. COVID test within 24 hours of entering the state, and you can't have any public contact, and you must wear a mask. So that's what New York State is saying. You're risking, I don't know, your career maybe. If you went to jail, they could tow your truck and stuff like that. I don't know how far they would take it, but that's what they're saying. What are they going to do? Just roll up in a truck stop and ask everybody if they had a test? I don't know. Highly doubt it. Probably wouldn't even answer the door. Well, I don't know what they'll do, but, you know, through tracking, they said they could track people at the scales. They could track cars and stuff at the state line through tolls and license plates, so they can know how long you've been in the state. They talked about that. How would you know? Well, we can track all the license plates and everything coming in the state. So that's a problem. It'd be the same with a driver. And when they listed this for essential workers, including truck drivers, that's a problem. You could deliver somewhere and have a pickup the next day. You're there more than 36 hours. Now you got a problem. Now you're on this 36-hour COVID test. Mask and no public contact unless necessary. So unless presumably you're loading or unloading, you can't go anywhere in public. How are they going to enforce it? I don't know, but they could know you're there. And if there was some kind of outbreak and they saw that you hadn't done something, I'm just saying it could be a real problem that you really should try to figure out if you're going to New York State. Maybe not going there is another good plan, of course. Who pays for the mandatory test, Chicken Hauler? If the test comes back positive, do they pay for a room? We'll tell you in Lafayette, they had a guy that they forced into a motel room that they provided. So at least here, I thought it was curious. I never heard of such a thing. And it only made the news because They didn't tell the motel owner. It was a little motel. It wasn't a name brand motel. It was one of these independently owned motels. And they found this out later. But they booked a room for 2 weeks. The Board of Health paid for it and stuck them in there and put an ankle monitor on them. So, yeah, at least here, they do pay for it and make you stay in there. And the judge, I guess a judge ordered it and said, if you leave, you'll be arrested. So I don't know what they're going to do there, but that's what they did here to somebody. Trooper gave a ticket for failure to obey a traffic device, but I had the green. Benji, well, I would say it's worth talking to a lawyer. And I'm not one here. I would also call the local FMCSA field office. But no, seriously, call a lawyer, one of these legal services, and see what they could do, what they think the idea. They'll talk to you without charging you anything, and then they'll give you a price on what they think they can do and how much it would cost you. What's this ticket going to cost you in points and all that? It should say, what does it cost? What's the cost of the ticket if you want to pay it? It's not just you. All these places are skewing the numbers, too. It's ridiculous. Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's so many numbers now. But yet, are we locked down now? No. My dad got called for a drug test every day or two for 2 weeks. You can go along and said they got to go to a fancy restaurant every day after the test and was controlled by the computer. Oh, pretty nice. That wouldn't be bad. Creepy Joe, over the weekend, there was an ex-employee that drove into a Walmart, D.C. in Red Bluff, and opened fire on workers. Turns out he was fired back in 2019 for calling in too much. 4 injured, 1 dead. Yikes. That's a grudge right there. Holy moly. You hold a grudge all that time and go, why do you got to go kill everybody? I don't understand it. I guess I don't understand it. I assume it's some kind of mental problem. I don't know. Just move on. Somebody fires you, move on. Honestly, having voluntary tests done at the truck stop would be a good idea. How else are people stuck on the road supposed to get tested? That's true. I mean, some states you can get them, some states you can't. So if they would do them at the truck stop, maybe everybody should go get tested. At J&H Trucking, pay wasn't percentage, it was mileage. Okay, no layover breakdown. When I went to Kansas, I had to pay my way there. Well, there's your first clue right away when they're like, we're going to pay this and, no layover breakdown. Do they tell you that up front? And then why do you sign up, kind of? I mean, Mark, you're being hard on the driver. Look, if they tell you this up front and you still sign on, I don't know what to say. Just call the company if you want your stuff. Pick it up in New Jersey. I totally agree with this. Just don't go to New York State. Say, well, I can't because I've been at one of these other states. I can't come in there. Good luck tracking you. I got a prepaid phone that's not registered in my name, and I pay the bill with a prepaid Visa card. That's pretty good. The thing is, they're going to track the plate on the truck as you come into the state in the toll booths and stuff like that. That's what they said. And there's cameras, as you know, everywhere. Ticket is $244. Whoo. But I'm not into donations. Oh, I didn't mean we'd all pay it for you. Heaven forbid. No, I'm not saying donations. I'm saying that's okay. So now I thought it was $20. I might just pay it, but $244. Call a lawyer and see what they can do about it, what your points are, and then you'll at least have a better idea of, okay, do I want to pay this? Do I want to pay a lawyer? What are the points? You should know that kind of information from a legal service. And I have a video about, I think I reviewed 4 or 5 legal services, so check that out and call one of those legal services or call all of them. Generally, they'll talk to you for nothing, so you can still get a green light, but if the sign says enter, that overrides the pre-pass. And that would be hard to prove later, right? So, okay, they're going to say the scale said come in, and you're going to say, no, it didn't. But they're going to go, yeah, it did. And so that's a tough one to fight. Still worth talking to a lawyer for free, certainly. Trucking Journeys, if you force me into a hotel room and tell me I can't leave, how am I supposed to eat? I guess you have food ordered in. How am I supposed to get basic essentials? Well, shipped. You can have everything brought to you. They're going to provide all that too if I want pizza. I don't know if they provide it as food because the suggestion always is you'd have to eat anyway. So I don't know if they provided food. Just the point of him that they locked him in the motel and told him if he came out, he'd be arrested. And they did pay for the motel for 2 weeks. Not at the nicest hotel either, let me tell you that. Have you ever played a doctor on TV or a lawyer on the internet? Have you ever seen the show Doctors on TV? Let's leave it at that. The test isn't even accurate. 50-50, well, that would be... I think we'd have all gotten a positive by then. Long live the hammer. Well, maybe you might want to call the hammer on this. I mean, I don't know if he does this kind of thing, but yeah, absolutely. One of those lawyers, you should at least talk to him and say, what can I do about this ticket? Here's what happened. It's just your word against theirs, though. Unless you... Oh. That just hit me. Why didn't you think of that, Mark? Do you have a dash cam running to prove that what the sign said? That would have been helpful right then, right? So what you'd do on a dash cam, since there was not an accident, you'd go back and save that. You just go right in the menu and lock that time in when you went past that sign. And you could show the judge immediately. Here, the sign said closed. Yep. There's another good reason for dash cam, which I never even thought of. The thunderstorm is hitting outside, not here. Humid, but not raining. Saturday was the worst day. Huge thunderstorms came through, at least right here. I know at Smith you have to get to orientation yourself, but they reimburse you for the related costs to get there. It's a way of saving money on canceled rentals. Oh, no, look, that's a good way to do it, too, right. I'm saying that if they tell you up front, you don't get breakdown pay. And if they tell you up front, you don't get layover pay. You then can't later say, I don't get paid any of this stuff. That's not right. It depends. Did you ask about that up front? What do you pay for this? What do you pay for that? And if they say nothing, we don't pay for that. And then you still go, are they doing anything wrong? Other than I think they should pay you for that time. Do they say that up front and they don't pay attention? But we get paid several different kinds of breakdown layover. We also get paid what's called a holdover. In my opinion, one of the best. What's a holdover? That sounds like something on WWE. Would you rather have a dirty restroom or a dirty kitchen at home? I'm not that picky, right? I'll take a dirty microwave. I've used a company called Road Law in the past, Free Call, Preacher Paul. Yeah, any of these, like Road Law or what these, worth a call because they'll talk to you for nothing and say, all right, here's what we can do and here's what it will cost you. That's worth finding out. Then you can decide your next move. Best stop pay layouts I've ever seen. Yeah, but what is holdover? I don't know what that means. I got a ticket once and they called a Beagle service. Don't do that. Why not? Certainly worth talking to a lawyer. Certainly. Especially for free. Don't pre-pass this group of scales where you can get a green light and drive past and still have the all trucks must enter. I wouldn't know what to do. If it said all trucks must enter, I would enter. I wouldn't risk the driving past on an all trucks must enter sign. Because worst thing, you just take the bypass and exit. So, to get a prepaid phone that's not registered, pay the bill with a prepaid Visa card. It was all possible in the past in Canada. Yeah, it's still possible here, going to basically any convenience store. Not one near your home, as I tell people, and just buy a phone off the rack and either pay cash with it or use a prepaid Visa card with it that is not registered to you somehow, where you just add cash to it somewhere. And that's how the phone could turn on. Absolutely. It would totally work, right? How do I get a CDL without going to truck school? I don't think you need to go to truck school legally. All you need to do is go down and you need a DOT physical. You have to get a permit. Hold it for so many days, and then take the CDL test. So bring a semi down to the CDL testing facility, pass the pre-trip at a driving test, and bingo, you have a CDL. Truck school is not a requirement in the law. Edgar applied for rider. They offer CVS. That is hard work and underpaid. If it's hard work and underpaid, out it goes. CVS here, at least in Indy on Craigslist, is M&M Trucking. Some kind of logistics thing like that nationwide. And it says hard work. It does say hand unload. Kind of like Walgreens in these, but so you don't get as many miles and you get to unload the truck. Depends what it pays a week. What are they talking about a week? You can go to Mega Carrier. You could, but you don't have to. You don't have to. You certainly never have to go to Mega Carrier. The open and close sign does not override the pre-pass. If it says all trucks must enter, I'm not risking the thing. I'll just enter the scale and go in on a pre-pass. The only way that the pre-pass to get override is if you're at a place like Georgia where they have those Pacific signs that light up and say truck must enter. Anytime it says all trucks enter, I'm going in. I'm not risking the thing. And some states say even if you get a green, you have hazmat, you have to come in also. So you also have that problem. You might have to go in. By the way, that orientation stuff was not for Smith. It was for Poly. I work at Poly. Yeah, okay. Yeah, look, some places don't pay you to go to orientation till you get there because they're afraid they're going to pay it and then you don't show up. So that's good. They may reimburse you on your check or whatever. You should be able to get yourself, a couple 100 miles or whatever to an orientation. They want to see that you have some skin in the game, and I kind of agree with them. People that don't have anything invested in what they're doing don't put a lot of effort into it and don't take it seriously. Once people have a big investment in something, They really take a good interest in it and really, will do their best at it. If they will put out some of their own, scratch. That's what we used to say for bread, They said 175 to 250 a day. I think that's underpaid. 175 a day. Yeah. You better be like a 7-hour day, 6 or 7 hour day and home every day and a single, not doing anything. That's not a lot of money. So yeah, tell them, I can do better. I can do better. CVS down here is talking $1,500 a week at M&M in Indianapolis. So I don't know where you are. If you're near Indianapolis, look up CVS in Indianapolis. They're always on Craigslist, always. M&M running ads down there, but it's hard work. It's hard work. Hard work and low pay is not great. Yeah, tell them forget it. I think the best pre-pass is the signs when you pass like Nebraska or Georgia, and they will tell you if you go in or not. Sometimes the pre-pass can get people in trouble. Yeah. If you ever wonder whether you should go in, go in. It doesn't hurt anything. So if you're wondering, I don't know, I'm not sure because of the sign confusion, just go in the scale. Nobody will ever bother you about that. Holdovers at the factory when they have no freight. It's slightly more than layover pay. We can make $255 if we do 5 hours of factory work or a short local route. That's more like it. For a day, that's pretty good. For 5 hours. Arizona, if you have any bypass signs or pre-pass, you're good to go unless you have produce. Oh, you always have to stop at the produce thing. I always loved that in Florida. I would go in there to the flatbed. I'm an empty flatbed coming out of Florida. And the guy one time he's looking, I'm like, and he goes, okay, you can go. I'm like, yeah, no duh, right? And it's not like I have a load of anything coming out of here. Because I never remember in my whole life getting a load out of Florida with a flatbed. Always had to get out to Georgia somewhere. Washington has the same system as Georgia. Mike Scott, I got my Class A in 2005, training in an automatic tandem dump. Nice. Pulling a 26-foot equipment trailer. Working for the South Bend Street Department. Nice, South Bend. Before the automatic only and no semi-restrictions. That's awesome. And that sounds like a CDL vehicle to me. If you only have a CDL permitted and you're not at a truck school, how would you get the semi? And then once you got it, how would you get down to the DMV? You could know somebody with a truck. Some DMVs will let you rent their truck. In Indiana, I think you can rent a bus. I don't know if you can rent a truck. I think there's a school bus rental for $75, if I remember. Some states will let you rent their truck. Maybe you have a friend that has a truck. That's possible. Like a friend of yours is an owner-operator. They have a truck. I know Cash is King Trucking is considering right now how he could make, I could buy 10 trucks and rent them out to people that want to get their CDL. So there's always that possibility. So there's somebody that's available for it, right? Edgar's in Texas, so that'd be a long commute. $1,300 per week average, 6-day work week. Yeah, I mean, $175 a day times 6 is no $1,300, right? That's $1,100. But yeah, okay, so that's not a lot of money for 6 days of work. If you're working like that, working to death, unloading all this stuff, tell them you can do better. See, look, it's always worth asking for more money too. Especially if you're committed to not going there. So you can always ask them for more money at any place. And if you're going to leave, just tell them no thanks. Ostensibly, you're not allowed to drive a semi with a permit without there being somebody else with you. That's correct. So you need somebody with you, but you don't actually have to drive the truck on the permit. You only have to wait the time of the permit to go get your CDL. There's not like a requirement. So you get a permit, and then your next job, how do I get a truck to the facility where it will pass its inspection there and that I can take the test in? But it's possible to do it. It is possible to do it. 2 dead, he killed, and the police killed him. That's a chance. That's terrible. I assume that there's some kind of mental problem in that. Yeah, there's terrible. And we can't ever stop that in the United States. Because of freedom and stuff, which we shouldn't eliminate, there's always going to be this kind of risk. To stop this, we have to take away freedom from so many people to stop a few people from doing bad things. We can't ever do it. It's sad, but it's one of the prices, I think, that we pay for freedom. I'll run LTL line haul at night, 50 hours a week, pulling 90,000 home every day. That sounds a lot better than the CVS job that we just heard about. I got sheetrock out of Jacksonville one time. Regal never loaded me out of Florida. No, you call them, and this was on the phone, you'd call them. Nope. They're like, head towards Atlanta and give us a call when you're in Macon. One thing that many drivers hate is that Florida scales are open 24 hours. I tell myself, if you're so worried about scale houses, get your truck legal and do your pre-trip, and you won't have to worry. You shouldn't. Some of them are out for blood there, but right. My cousin took a skills test in his buddy's cab over in California. Nice. So he didn't need to go to truck school or anything. I used the community college's truck doing a third-party test, chicken hauler. That's another way to do it if you can get a truck. All you need to do is get the truck down there. So everything in life is figure-outable. So if you have a problem, there's a solution to it. Absolutely. I'll be honest, the worst part about poly is that you have to wear a uniform shirt when you're at a customer at the factory. Trucking journeys. Yeah, don't wear it. That's how I stick it to the man. We have uniforms that I don't wear. NYS really do have permitted scales. They use portables. That's then you never know where they're going to be. They're not in the book. You can't see those round circles with the arrow that point to where the scale is because you never know where it's going to be. So I thought that was pretty good. Oh, that's right. Before I go, Transport Topics had a hard-hitting news story that they did in-depth research about. They sent a group of investigative reporters, probably Geraldo, probably opened up safes, and they found this out. And they talked to this guy from Driver Reach, right? They had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to find this guy out because he's all about, I've done videos about him, right? So Transport Topics came in with this hard-hitting news. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? You're probably sitting down. Truck drivers, now get this, they use social media to stay connected with friends and family. That's right. They did a whole article, probably 500-word article on this. That's correct. Did you know that? I had to look into it. There's apparently social media and stuff out there that truck drivers can actually use to stay connected to their friends and family. Now, I'm glad that they finally did some kind of research into how truck drivers, one driver they interviewed actually said he calls his wife every morning. And they talk about stuff every morning on the phone. He has a phone that he can carry around in the truck with him. I found that to be incredible. I found that to be an incredible story. I'm glad that Transport Topics comes out with this timely, hard-hitting investigative story at this time. It was really, really something. I was stunned. I couldn't even believe what I was reading. Creepy Joe. What is one of the biggest pet peeves with drivers? Mine is that drivers don't use their turn signals. Yeah, I think drivers follow too close. That's what I don't like the most. Drivers that are following too close. And, that's one. And I think that also some drivers, right, are not great at backing up. Because I'll drop in a lot and then I got to wait. And I know my trailer is down there. And so I got to wait because they don't put it right here where it's supposed to be. I know it's down there. But then there's 3 people backing up. And this guy's 12 pull-ups. This next guy's 15 pull-ups. Okay, look. Companies should do a better job of doing a road test. And if you can't back up, they need to run a backing class. They used to do these here. I've taught them a few times here. Where they come in all day Saturday, we just back up. So that kind of aggravates me to no end, Because the lot is not complicated. That's genius. Are any of you guys doing it? Yeah, is anybody doing this here? Have you heard of even anything like this? I've never even heard of this. I read this article and I'm like, what? Truck drivers use social media? They said drivers do Zoom calls with their families. Do you believe that? Are drivers hooking up Zoom calls? Hey, everybody get on my Zoom call. I'll see you on my Zoom call. They said they use other forms of social media, including cell phones. Most incredible thing I ever heard of. Biggest pet peeve, not moving over for tow trucks. Yes, or broken down rigs. Please move over if you can, or slow down. It's the law in most states now. Remember the law in 2 days here in Indiana, you cannot hold your phone, even in your car. It's already illegal in a truck, of course, so if you're driving through here in your car, hands-free only. What if you rented the truck to take the DMV test? You would have to have somebody in the truck with you who's a CDL while you drive it. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to rent it on a permit anyway. You're going to need somebody to rent the truck for you that has the license. They're going to rent it to you on a permit. One of my biggest pet peeves is drivers not moving to the right if they're slower than everybody else. Oh, yes. Okay, so here, who swings out? One truck swings out there. They're going a half a mile an hour faster than this next truck, and they're out there for 45 minutes. Why? What are we doing? Okay, get the heck. I don't like it even in the car when I see other cars doing it. If you're out in the left lane, get with the program and get out of the way. I don't get why driver bright you when you pass them. I don't, Preacher Paul, I don't like it. I don't ever do it. So I cut with the lights years ago. Should the DMV require CDL training to get your driver's license? And they don't require any car training. So, they'd have to regulate who's doing the training and stuff like that. If you can pass the test, is that enough skill to drive the truck? I mean, if everybody takes a comprehensive skills test, not the 5-minute thing they do now. Same with a car. A comprehensive skills test, a real backing test, not with cones, right? They should have some trailers set up, and stuff like that. If you pass that, you have your license. Because the training, who knows how good a training you got. I do flatbed an empty lot, 12, 15 pull-ups, but crowded or decently filled, 1 to 3 pull-ups. Yeah, look, once you're on your 19th pull-up or whatever, forget it. When I'm teaching people to drive, you get to set it up and back in and 2 more pull-ups. If you don't have it in there, we go around, okay? And during that time of going around and coming, setting it back up, you got to explain to me what you think you did wrong and why it didn't go in there, what you were doing wrong, and we'll talk about how to fix it. And by the time we get back around to the spot, we're going to try again under what we just learned, right? Because we're learning from our mistakes, and we're going to try it again. And it's going to be the same thing, 2 pull-ups, and then we're going to go back around and we're going to say, well, what are we doing wrong? That's how I do it. And this is why it didn't work. And this is what you're going to need to do differently. What did you see over there? Exactly. Once you're at your 10th pull-up and there's a line of trucks when you come in, okay, move out of the way a little bit here. A lot of drivers lie about how much money they make. That's true. I don't get why a driver bright you. Yeah, I don't like that either. I don't use face in the book. Who wants their face in the book anyway? Well, that's true. Have you ever heard of such a thing, though? You may have heard of it. I'm not sure. I was told going into New Mexico and dealing with their port of entry is like dealing with the Gestapo. That's not great. Pet peeve is the high beams, just like our Sunday rant, blinding me before I change lanes. I don't get it. Let's hold the high beams for 20 seconds. I might turn my lights off and on for you if it's bad weather. That's probably the most you get out of me. At the factory, it's enforced by security personnel because you have to have a certain color shirt on, be anywhere near the truck, so they're going to come escort you. Oh, well, we have vests or whatever. You have to wear a vest. I wear a vest. No problem. But the uniform company shirt, I don't like it, so I don't wear it. Nobody said anything to me about it. I'm guessing they do it that way because they don't want a bunch of factory workers messing with the truck. Maybe. I mean, they give us new ones every year, so I have this huge pile of shirts, all new. I'll be opening an eBay store soon. You should open a trucking school. Yeah, I don't know about that. I worked at a truck school years ago in Illinois, so. In Minnesota, you have to take a driving course to get your driver's license, either at school or you have to pay for it outside of school. In Indiana, you do not have to do that. If you're under 16, you have to go to driving school. Beyond that, you don't. You only need to get a permit and hold it for 90 days or so, and then you can go take your driving test. And growing up, my dad said, number one, he said, we're poor, we're not doing this. And even though we had a cottage and stuff, so I don't know. But number two is you're not driving the car anyway, so you don't need a license. So he didn't let me get my license until right before I turned 18 and went in the service. He goes, you're going to need it to go in the service. So he drove me to the driver's license facility, the DMV. I took the test in a Dodge Omni, right? And then he drove home. That's the only time I ever drove a car and passed the driving test. So I know the test is not that comprehensive. So I learned all that at the arcade, basically. CDL training to get your car driver's license. Nice. Where do you get your skills from then? I never, I didn't do any of that for a car license and didn't have any problems. So how do you know what if you're getting poor training? Because someone has, say, 100 hours of training, it could have been all wrong. It could have been bad or whatever. The skills are the test, not the training. I still bring my own rotary phone into the truck stop and plug it in when you're eating your pie. Oh my gosh. Remember when there used to be a phone on the table? Usually if it doesn't go in right the first time I spit on it, that sometimes can help depending on where it's trying to go. You may want to, sometimes I'm on this row, right? But there's row after. Sometimes you're at the wrong side. You have to go around to go in the other way. So that's a recommendation from your old pal Mark here. So that's sometimes how that works. New Mexico is horrible. Truckers' lies are trucker stories. Sometimes, yes. Headlights are not being adjusted. People shouldn't use their brights for that stuff. Lordsburg, New Mexico, eastbound scale are the worst in the country. We should send them some type of an award, really, for that kind of stuff. Let's see here. We didn't do this, of course. Don't forget, if you wear it, always make it a parrot. If you need a good job to be treated well, GP Transco is there for you. That's their new motto. I think that's what I just made up for them anyway. They can use that. Don't forget about Jay tomorrow, live at 9 p.m. He's still doing that show. Yep, Eastern time. Go talk to Jay. Tell him old Mark said hi. Fleet Nav Systems tomorrow at 3 p.m. live with the lightning round, of course. And I have to get out of here and go make the company some money, of course, as it goes each day. That's why we're a little bit earlier. Anyway, Wild Bill was first on Wednesday, followed closely by Christina, but not quite close, though. Misty was here today. Thank you for being here today, of course. Cash is King Trucking. I gave you that good idea. I'll need a 10% cut on the last idea. Thank you. Trucking Journeys. Poly Trucking, also another place you may want to look into, right? People that in the Texas area, wherever they hire from. You could say where they hire from here. Mr. Wiener, name that I love. TSI 9999999. Love it. UFO's no joke. Creepy Joe, watch those hands. But thank you for being here. Al Johns, thank you for coming in today. Edgar Gomez was here. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming in, by the way. Daniel was here. Thank you for that. Preacher Paul, thank you for being here. I can't do the show without people. I can't just be me here. So the show is you. It isn't certainly not me. James Faust, thank you for coming in. And I'm going to try to shift my way to work anyway. Slim Shady was here. I love it, right? Candace Snyder, thanks for coming in. George Wilson. But I have to hit the old pavement. I forget what they call that anyway. So I'm going to head out, and there'll be more coming. Cat pictures can come in and everything else. And we're going to follow this yellow. Who knows what they're going to do? Holy mackerel. Close, open. I don't know. Be safe anyways. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for being here.